Oh, Tarzan, it's the final day of the PMCO UK 2021 fall season. And of course, myself, Hannah Wolf, Press Tarzan with us, and also our beautiful sponsor, Nemo TV, the official media partner of the PUBG Mobile Pro League in 2021 season. We've had 3 days so far, Tarzan. Four more games. All it decides us from our victor in the final PMPL representative from the UK region.
Crazy, right? Like we've seen a lot of action, kind of unexpected in the way that there's not a particular team that was like boom, like we're taking charge, we're definitely winning this. We're looking at some other regions as well. Some of them are just gone crazy. But you know what? Here we're just keeping the mystery, like allowing all these possibilities still to be played out from these 4 matches from today.
4 more games, as we say. But of course, Tarzan, what really is exciting here is we haven't seen a definite team that come through with the victory so far. We've seen completely different stories every single day and from different teams, albeit. And this is what I think it comes down to is now who can perform on this final day, who can get to the top of that leaderboard when it counts, because the pressure is going to be immense between what is going to be 5, 6, even 7 possible teams coming in to our final games.
Pretty crazy. I think when we're looking at momentum, we talk about the day points as well. And from that day 3, 777 really did their job, like 55-point day. And you can see right at the top there, TSC Legend with 46 as well. But we're looking at those squads that we have high hopes on, Cyrex, 25 point, I think around that. And then Rescue with 11 points. So that is pretty devastating. We need to look at those figures right now to give us a little bit more of that perspective. But you know what? Crazy day ahead of us. There's a lot of storylines still to be drawn.
Insane day, but let's have a look at that format, Tarzan, one more time. Where, as we said, group stage, 32 teams competed, but only 14 advanced through to the finals to join Rescue and Gaijin Seraphim, where our top 16, 4 days of competition each day we've had, and as we said, 4 final matches to decide who goes through to the PMPL Season 2, but also to look here at those points, at what these teams are going to be looking for, Tarzan, when it comes to getting that victory. 15 points, of course, for that chicken dinner, and 1 kill equals 1 point, albeit that goes into then the prize pool here as well. And the prize pool, Tarzan, is going to not only be the deciding factor, but I think is going to be very immense for a lot of these teams. And I mean, we talk about, I think, the likes of Spill, even rising from 16th to 10th position, and their rise on that leaderboard when it comes to the prize money too.
Yep, and man, like we looked at that prize money, and the difference not so huge unless you're making it all the way to the top. So that is like double the excitement. Not only are they fighting for quite a lot more prize money, but also that PMPL spot. And it's actually just a very huge achievement, to be fair. Yes, you can come back down, but once you've made it there, you are expected to stay, right? Like you will have that training that can really come back as great experience to allow you to stay, split after split.
Albeit here is that schedule, Tarzan. We run it down one more time for us. A beautiful Erangel sandwich, but with a slight twist of Sanhok and Miramar in the middle. 4 more games. And I think, to be fair, Tarzan, these 4 games, I always look back towards this first match. Day 2, day 3, we've had Gaijin Seraphim win it. Very interesting to see if someone can stop them this time around.
Well, like to be fair, they've got these strong starts in the past 2 days. Those match 1 Erangel, they took those chicken dinners, no problem, but they've shown that very specific style that we thought might not be so good on Sanhok, because after all, Sanhok is very circle dependent, right? So can't really play the slow game. You have to play it quick. You need to have that active plan. We talk about a lot of pre-shift preparation, and we are seeing some of these like PMPL teams. When look at those team speak or whatnot, these are what they focus on. So we're still lacking a little bit, but I think that improvement may come through.
Improvement, albeit we get to talk about it after a short break one more time. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Already back here with, of course, PMCO UK Finals 2021, the full season. Myself and Professor Tarzan here alongside you, and also our other sponsors, Xiaomi, where you can enjoy a super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G. Tarzan, we talked about Gaijin, we talked about Spill, but I think there's a lot of other teams we need to talk about. And I'm just going to start us off here, the fact of TSC Legends, who are really leading this leaderboard overall.
Yep, the lead is not huge though, but I'd say when it comes to the so-called top teams for this finals, they are probably doing the best. And the way that they play are somewhat most consistent, yes. And the way that they lose some players early on, I would say, is a little bit more understandable, right? It's not like textbook, whoa, what are you doing? Like, we've got those moments, right, guys? So they are a little bit better. So I think using that leaderboard would be a very good illustration of the current situation. So we're going to have a quick glimpse of that. If we can pull that up, that would be amazing. Thank you. And TSC Legends, 144 points with a small lead, not so huge.
Also beautiful stuff over at Cyrax. Yes, despite also the fact that they've been at the top at the end of day one, slight slip for them considering, and actually giving rise to 777 Esports, who rose quite a fair bit when it came from that 5th position to the 2nd position yesterday. Overall, I think 777, they had the best day when it came to that day 3.
Yep, not the biggest day so far. So I think they are on the rise. And when they have that momentum, it's pretty scary. We've seen it in the past. Like, we've got still, the record for this split with the biggest chicken dinner with 19 kills. So something that they can repeat. I mean, they did that huge kill game on Miramar, and they also had a very huge one on Miramar yesterday. Wouldn't be as huge, but I think it's very good, like enough to set them up for some more success today.
Albeit, I think Rescue, slightly worse day for them. I mean, only 11 points, Tarzan, and I think they only got, 2 points in 2 games in the first 2 matches yesterday.
Yes.
Really concerning for them because we've not seen them really stick to their own play style. We've been trying to play different styles overall, but it's not been working out for them.
I think speaking of styles that doesn't work, we have to talk about the Erangel UK. They've got 2 points yesterday, so that is really, really no good. So they've tried to make some changes. We've seen it. They dropped on other players or whatnot. Not really working out. 2 points to making them pretty much down at that bottom there, and Arena 51 could be worse though. So you can see is actually to a lot of people's surprise, they got that chicken dinner on Sanhok yesterday. So they danced a little bit to celebrate that as well. But man, like, you really want to bounce back even more. There's still a lot of chance to prove themselves though. Like, to have a good ending will be a good start for the next coming split.
Of course, we said there's only one spot remaining for PMPL Season 2, Tarzan, and of course, it's probably going to be contested between those 5, maybe possible 6 top teams for the final 4 games, but I'm also inclined to hope, and I know this is always a long stretch, but we'd see kind of that rise of a team, maybe in that 7th, 8th position as well, who can prove us wrong, who can get also that 80-point day. I mean, we've seen it before, some crazy days, and I think that the pressure, when you come down to this final day, very interesting, because a lot of teams, yes, they're going to be again rising for the prize money, albeit, but they also have nothing to lose, which makes it a lot more dangerous if you're one of those top teams and you're still trying to get the points, because there's a lot of other teams that might just decide to land on top of you.
Yeah, and speaking of landing on top, it really reminded me of how Miramar looked like in that central belt, right? We've got Saint Martin and Hacienda looking pretty congested, and Concrete UK might just be the team that suffered a bit. But I also want to bring ourselves to this team, right? They had one of the biggest days ever in this tournament. They got a 75-point day. I think that was the last day of the tournament, if not the second day, right? So if they can do the same, they can basically sit at the top spot right now, but they have to rely on some of these other so-called top teams to really screw up a little bit. But the chance is still there. The math suggests that it's still possible. Yeah,
it's happened, right? Yes. I mean, it's happened to every single one of those teams at the top. They've all had a bad day, which is why none of them are ahead of each other. So that's what is exciting about it. That's why I have hope as we jump in game, Tarzan, for the first match of Erangel and those green rolling hills to kick us off in the final ever day of PMCO UK in 2021. Of course, our sponsor one more time, Xiaomi, the official, or should I say, enjoying a super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's powerful
There
Redmi
we
Note
go.
10 5G. I get ahead of myself here. There's two.
Hey.
They're both beautiful, but Xiaomi, they're on our screen regardless, and that playing path as well. Heading down to the south, all the way to the north side, is, I do believe, yes, it will be, over towards Stalber Hill. And albeit, I mean, Stalber, probably my favorite point here of Erangel. And the only team that drops on it is Spill. Spill having a very interesting game when it came to that final game yesterday.
Yes, and I think this playing path is so interesting because it's far from Georgia Pool. Right, so guys, let me explain. We've got Team Savage, which is a team that sometimes struggle with those early pacing. So if they can't head over Hospital, Gatka area, it really slows them down. But it's not just them. In North Georgia Pool, in South Georgia Pool, let's start from the bottom up. Okay, South Georgia Pool, Rescue. That is their drop spot. They got 11 points yesterday, but they are so strong on this map historically, but it did not apply to yesterday at all. So now that playing path being very eastern, it will really slow down those rotations. They may need to come in with a little bit of a different plan as well. And Gaijin Seraphim is a North Georgia Pool team. Alongside Kurdish Victory, both of them may use something different, as we already see on that map. Kurdish Victory say, it's too far. We're going to stay around center, and they are floating towards the mansion shelter area.
Playing path complemented here by the zone as well for the first game. It's going to be very central, albeit Pachinki in the center. Does look like some teams are going for it. 1802 as well for Born for Victory. But I'm more concerned to see how teams get across on that South Island. Already some congestion happening. There is also, do believe, one of those Team Savage members, oh no, it would be Born for Victory members, are be getting dropped. But also towards even further south, Wizard, Arena 51, gatekeeping at Western Bridge. So slight concerns here for Cyrex and 777, who probably then need to get off on that eastern side more. So even though Triple also control that location, and also there, we've got to mention Arena 51 losing a member too.
A little bit of a rough start, to say the least, and that circle being kind of center with that western half over the Gatka fields provide a lot of possibility, I'd say, because it's one of those areas where, of which if you go there earlier and you have it like controlled, when people come in and mindlessly, especially in the early game, that you can really punish that. We've seen that yesterday when it comes to Wizard wanting to rotate along Gatka fields and forgetting that the side of Team Savage love starting the looting phase there. Like, that was terrible to watch, and it's still possible. It's just delayed a little bit. Like, a lot of these teams have gone to the secondary drop spot, so hopefully that will work out for them. And after that first kill, seems like we've got two teams with trios, and Kurdish Victory definitely one of them, and we've still got 61 players, so not a full lobby, unfortunately, but we are up for a good day, because after all, those points are very, very tight, and we always have these thoughts, right, about how are they feeling? Can they play at their best? Who will be able to grab that, one good fight to start that snowball? All those are possible. Of course, is speculation. I think it's just how humans work, right? And I just can't wait to see.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can count to 4 as well. I'm a good human, Tarzan. I am smart boy. And, of course, Kurdish Victory, they're going to be the only team here as a solo missing from their team, because we've already seen 2 members drop out. Of course, Born Victory and Arena 51, they lost a member so far already. So, albeit they are still playing as a trio, albeit they also join in as 4 members down onto that playing path. But I'm not going to judge at all the fact they could Victory our trio, because we would have not said that Spill could have won as a trio that last game, even as a duo pretty much throughout most of the game. I mean, Lakrita and Kelly Boy, they really stepped up when it came to those next 2 matches, Miramar and that Erangel game last night.
Yeah, and I think the issue, like with losing players early, it's more like a mental hit. Like, than anything. Yes, of course, it would be nice to have another player, but sometimes that fact, like, if you can accept and adjust your play styles accordingly, many teams find success. Like, to be fair, in the past, we've seen teams getting double-digit points, no problem, as a duo, as a trio. They just need to find the way to do that. Right? And this time around, B4V actually clashed with the side of Team Savage pretty early on. When will these 2 teams give each other a break? I don't know, right? Like, they just clash on Erangel. They fought each other on the bottom right tip of that northwest island on Sanhok, almost every time. And it's actually quite nice to see like who comes out on top. But Bevo will be definitely struggling a little bit, can't get to their favorite spot for sure, and now just running along and not really having the luck for those vehicles either. And Cyrex will continue, of course, like same old drop spot. I'm thinking though, I think when it gets to the later phases of today, teams should probably switch things up just for those one. They can't practice everything, but maybe just one sneaky plan to target one particular team. Desperate times, desperate measures. I think it may work.
I was looking down in the off-topic chat in the Discord for the UK scene. I was chatting to all the players yesterday, and it sounded to me, Tarzan, like there was going to be some hard drops. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to see some teams drop down. I mean, we talked about later on Sanhok having a 60-man boot camp drop, but don't think that'll be the case. I'm hoping so. I'm still hoping, Tarzan. I'm hoping I've convinced them all just to drop down and have a mega fight and end Sanhok in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, man. You kids are all talk. I know you're not going to do it. So I stayed away from it. I'm joking. Like I was just somehow forgot about that part of my homework. So that's me saving my own arse. But other than that, yes. I mean, I think there should be some changes. We've seen some before, to be fair. Like we've casted, in the United Kingdom scene for a while now. Even in PMNC, a lot of changes came through in that last day. And half of those worked out. And we always talk about changes. Just find those that can really be applicable. Sometimes you have a plan that doesn't really suit your strength, and it's GG. It's like you're just throwing points into someone else's pocket, and wink wink the uncles yesterday, right? They can be very, very strong, but it wasn't the way to play yesterday for sure.
Everyone's had, I think, coming into the finals, really strong days, and that's what is so interesting, Tars, in the sense that there's no real bad team when it comes to not having a good performance at least once. And I think that everyone has that X factor, and they clearly have that skill somewhere locked inside of them to where they can be able to reach out top of the leaderboard. But it's just so questionable, some of those decisions coming down from some of these teams in the finals. And I feel that it's also to this fact that it's a pressure at the finals, potentially getting some of these players and the mental fortitude that these players have to have, because we haven't seen some of the cleanest games, as we said, even from the best. And this is why I'm so excited about today, because I can't judge starting off at the start today who is going to make it. We need to really wait to that last game, because anything really could happen. And even example, UK losing another member as Conqueror, a brilliant snipe down at the edge of school, catching them off guard in their own location they start on.
You know what? Like, this is a good case of when you are so used to something, when you're just relying on the mercy of someone, right? Concrete is a Rozhok team. If you are a school team, of course you're worried about, this Rozhok Hill, right? But because Concrete UK haven't really come through here many times, they're either stuck fighting, then rotating the other way. Like the Silence example, you thought that this would never happen, and they just fell to a very textbook type of play from any Rozhok team. And then we have Naka. To be fair, he had a pretty good performance, especially in this day one in group stage, and will be spared this time around. And Danoka will try to come into the pool side.
That nade, I saw it, Tarzan. I was thinking Naka was about to die, but unfortunate there will be it. Naka does live. Another nade straight onto the Noka. It puts him down underneath half HP and realizes he's got to move from that location, but he's got friends. He's got backup. Even one death on the top of that hillside makes it so difficult, more importantly. For example, UK to come outside and aggress Conqueror from the beginning of this fight. And one death being on that top, yes, he's not inside that fight at the beginning, but what we can do is allow Conqueror that way inside the school to the point where we can make that 3-on-3 fight, and it's still going to be an even one. Also an even shift here, Tarzan, as the rest of this second phase zone centralizes once more, and Pachinki is in that center, as well as a lot of these teams on the outskirts still to rotate in from the other side. That center congestion, though, very scary looking when it comes to those teams, particularly coming up around Potato Hill and between Pachinki.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit saturated, to be fair, at this stage. Teams may not want to leave. Like, that is the trend that we are seeing so far. There's not a lot of mid-circle, mid-phase rotations or scouting. I don't think is the best way to play PUBG, okay? But you to be able to hold this down, this basic, to hold a spot and to set up well, that is good. right? But right now, I don't think there'll be a lot coming through, and surprised though. Like Cyrex actually very quick to rotate onto Pachinki Hill and got something out of that. This side as well might just tie it to a 1-for-1 after all.
One left, maybe wishing he had joined up with his fight, but also 1802, wishing he hadn't fought Cyrax. They'll be eliminated first in the final day. 4 kills already for this top squad, and Prince on the front end. Still more to fight, though, because look, we said it was saturated around Hillside, Arena 51, but also Team Savage on the opposite end. I think this is great work from Cyrax to actually clean up that fight quickly, because had they extended that fight, potentially you start to see those third parties move in, and as Cyrax will lose members, you could have also seen Cyrax fall.
Well, those are the mid-phase rotations that we were talking about. Not the way to do it, though. 1802 got punished very hard. Like, Pachinki Hill is not one of those positions that you just go up without any setup, right? So, got completely punished right there. Arena 51, to be fair, they could have been punished as well. As a trio, they were not good at scouting at all in the past. But that was the time that Cyrus was so busy fighting off the sub 1802. So Arena 51 lives another day. Not quite the case, for example, UK. They'll finally grab that revive for Conqueror and will be a 4v2. I think they should wrap this up pretty quickly.
Conqueror, they have to continue to wrap this up. As you said, there's teams coming in all around, and they have, credit to them, some space available. It's not going to be that south side, Tarzan. It is congested, but it does look dark. It looks very dark indeed for the rest of example UK. Only 2 members remaining. And I like that, again, what is coming through from the rest of Conqueror is that they're sticking together. And this is exactly why. Because when you lose a player like Snowboy, your team can follow up. And this is something that I wanted to see coming through from Conqueror. They make it happen this time. They take another kill. They will leave Snowboy for now. So we do have to, again, clean it up quickly. That they do. Example UK also going to fall. Hisoka takes the last one. And it's albeit a very clean fight coming through from Conqueror.
Important fights in this early game. Like, we've got Conqueror UK lacking momentum, like, all across the board, to be fair. And they got this one here, but B4V, they're going downhill, this team. We praise them for the aggression. Day 1, 30 points. Day 2, 20. Day 3, 13. And they now have already lost 2. And could be 3. I think if I were 777 Esports, should I say it like this? I would expect them to know that they are a duo based on kill feed, and then they should just take these 2 more kills.
But they don't, and I think they are being a little bit hesitant. Of course, the problem here for B4V, they're trying to walk into a compound again, Tarzan, you just can't walk into. And because of this, they get highly punished for it. B4V, Knight on the front, trying to defend, but he just falls straight to his knees. The nade now forces the last one away, but into the open. Hilu, there's nowhere to go. They also drop it. It's only 1 knock, but no confirmed kills. 3 confirmed, though, against Born for Victory. And 777 also taking the points. These are crucial because when you look at a team like Cyrax getting those points on the leaderboard, it pushes also, if you do know what slot number that team was inside your game, a team like 777 also to make that aggressive move.
I mean, I think it's basic right now. Like, to know what number a team is in the server, they can basically memorize it. It's like primary school test, right? Just memorize all these, write it back out. And it's pretty simple. It's the homework that you need to do is 16 games with the same order. So something that you probably need to do. TSC wants to call Pachinki home, but can't completely hold that yet. But Spill will first lose 1, and that is the second coming through.
Already 2, and again now also TSC stepping up with a kill feed. Kelly Boy and also Alex Lacrita's down. It's only a solo of the duo, fantastic duo in that. Kelly Boy cooks a nade, wants to try and put something down into the pit where TSC are trying to finish off 1. Lacrita was taken away. Kelly Boy only going to be naded. That smoke makes it so impossible to see. And now TSC, they only take away Kelly Boy. Alex the last one, and he drops 2. TSC also making those clean fights, and everyone so far at the top of the leaderboard stepping up when it counts.
And the third party still around. I mean, this is the type of circle around Pachinki. Like, that third party can be very, very tricky. Right here, though, Wizard Esports been playing a pretty huge split so far. So they need to tighten it. May not be easy. Dika really need to relieve the pressure.
Oh, Nikamo takes 2, and now maybe takes 3. El Chapo as well going to take themselves away. Dico taking as a complete 1v4 situation, and he's managing it.
Man, Smile is at the back. Are you smiling or crying? Man, like this team is falling apart so far. It's not just so far. Yesterday, 2 points, that was terrible. And right now, losing a 2v4 so far. Can still come through. Can Smile deliver? Would be a little bit close.
He tries to pre-fire away, but Dika knows exactly where it is. Beautiful first aid kit, though. That was crucial because it heals him back up, but he can't switch to the gun in time. Where's now the follow-up? Golden smashes him away, and also now 7 kills for Wizards. They may not be in contention for that PMPL spot, but by darn, are they taking those prize money up?
Man, like the support could come through a little bit quicker. I have to be just a little bit harsh because they played that split for a while now. So like, if you don't have that car to provide that very swift support, then didn't really quite play it. But 7 kills, still a very, very good start.
Dragon, though, that's where the support was in there. Look at where Dragon is on that map, Tarzan. He's way up towards the center. So I think Wizard, albeit as aggressive as they are, played it as like 2 split here. There's also Premix. Gaijin in some trouble because it found the entire team in Triple Sports Club. And that's not where you want to be.
Damn.
Again, a wide split punishing because Logan, Lord, they can't also jump behind from the edge of that rock, and Lord also going to get knocked. Now comes the support of Naz. I'll be on the opposite side. Shono's going to have to do a runner because there is nothing left here in Gaijin in this game 1. And it won't be a repeat, you got to think.
Man, this is tough. Like, I think it's a very tough circle because it's very saturated on the outskirts, but that is still a way to play in. For example, this spot. There's so many spots for them to play. They just need to be able to find them and have a good way to enter. After all, it's pretty saturated. I think from phase 1, Cyrex been holding one of the strongest spots for this circle. The problem would be for resources, to be fair, and that will be the key thing right now. We're a little bit low in the number of players, to be fair. People die pretty quick, so Pachinki are going to be great for this. Is like a hot drop, but at the later game.
Arena 51 still to continue to climb up that hill, and they're still trying to take that fight Tarzan onto Cyrax. I mean, considering that Arena 51, they have been very stagnant in their decision, we have to see if this costs them, because they really need to take this fight. If they don't take this fight and they don't take the loot from Cyrax in a quick fashion, Arena 51 is still in the same problem, because they don't have clearly maybe a lot of loot on them. They've been around this area, traveling outside of buildings, and they have been trying to fight. And I think this is a problem when it comes to being so tunnel visioned as well in your own idea of the game.
Yeah, they've been trying to challenge this for a while now. Like, they pulled back a little bit and then now came back again. To be fair, they can just rotate to the north side. Like, so many ways to white rotate. You don't have to challenge this. Like, if a team plays this hill properly, you should never be able to punish them. Like, you cannot just charge in. It's going to be so hard. But this is good. It's like Season 1 classic games, no problem. Ranking in Pachinki, and this is going to test another different spectrum of skills for these players. We talk about trigger discipline. We talk about very good splits, sensible splits, as well as those, discipline in your audio cues. All those need to come in, and I think I'll add an extra one, right? Island Wolf cars. There's still a chance that they could use those cars. So to find the right cover to protect them, to use that resources for a potential Pachinki field finish is still extremely important.
Conqueror still inside, though. Now is edge of Pachinki. Pachinki finish, always going to be a little bit crazy when it comes to now phase 5. Have to see where that zone really does go. If it stays there, we can see a lot of congestion probably going to happen. It won't, no. Down towards Pachinki Hill. So then I think the most sensible decision would be for a team like Cyrax to head further back in towards the center of that zone, push away Arena 51 from the edge. Also, already in the center established in Pachinki, a rescue. I mean, rescue for them, this is a pretty gift of a zone, because they can, again, just follow from that high ground, and everyone coming from the low ground of Pachinki, like TSC, Team Savage, they're going to have to run into him, and if they don't run into him, they're going to have to run into other teams, so there's a lot less choice for those up in the northern end.
Yeah, like, tricky one for sure, like, right now. I think that the key thing that some of these teams need to think of, for example, 777 esports, would be to get an opening. You need to use an opening knock instead of just threading the needle. They play threading the needle too many times, and sometimes it's just not going to work for this particular circle. And Arena 51 still can't find their way in, just looping on the outside, and that could be a problem.
Unfortunately, 51 Demon, not the way you want to stop in front of Scythe, but he can't take the shots, he can't take the bullets onto Demon, and as well, Demon gets away barely. Arena 51, a little bit hard though, because instead is walking to Triple Sports Club and a gift away the kills to someone else. Demon walking in the same direction, only now going to drop to Cable. Cable has to step back a little bit, though. That's a knock away from Cyrax. It's going to slow them down, but I don't think Cyrax is going to worry too much and make the revive happen. A lot more scarier here for Demon in this situation because there was nowhere to go.
Well, don't lose the basics, Cable, otherwise you just can't make use of this position. Well, the thing is, though, like, you just need to continue to reset up. Like, you need to know the strength of your position and know where teams can get funneled in. For example, this one. Like, Kurt Victory could have punished them very hard, but the fact that they don't have as many players would be a very good news for Cyrax so far, and still need to keep those cars, and they can actually get a lot more kills around here.
Victory still, albeit they are also entering into zone, and Cyrax Esports, they know it. They already got 4 kills so far, as we said, from 1802. They made a revive happen though. The nade not quite in place, so they can't get that confirmed knock, and it will have to be a reset on that fight. But yeah, Cyrax, they just look so dominant on the edge, and I mean, I like that we said they need to push back that little bit, and because they did, they now are able to control those flat open parts heading up into these hills. This hill is not a complete climb up, and as a result, that's what makes it so difficult for teams, because there are these open spots where Cyrax can punish, but it can't punish these Scythe equally because it gives vision both ways, and Scythe gonna be confirmed away, so Kurt Victory, at least they're gonna upset one away, and now the zone has gone all the way to the south as well. Cyrax, they need to head away from this fight more importantly, but can they really head away from the fight with Code Victory on their heels?
Well, this is a fight to first wrap up before going downhill. Like, you can see the next entry spot, you don't have to go now. But on this side, multiple teams couldn't find the plan before the new zone appears. And now that everyone's trying to leave, it's a little bit of a chaos, to say the least. You know what? It's an absolute chaos. We can see 777 relies in the city to provide some cover as well, and alongside 3 or 4 other teams still yet to find a spot. The clock is on 5 seconds. This is going to be crazy.
TSC Legend Zone, more importantly, already out. This is a chance, Tarzan, for those on the top. When you see TSC die to get those points, to focus on those placement points. You can see 777, they're not completely out. I think that they probably have a chance here. If UV can possibly take down Rupo, they can maybe go back for the healing strategy, but we need to take away Team Savage. You need to take away that front line, and of course, with all 4 members of Team Savage up, it makes it so difficult. The blue zone coming in behind, only going to eat away the health bar, and I think with 777, they're going to be falling here as well. There goes UV, but it doesn't give the kill away. 777 also going to fall. So 2 big contenders now out. You're looking towards Rescue. You're looking towards also Cyrax, who are the remaining top teams in this game.
A little bit crazy, to say the least. A lot of teams did not prepare for this shift, or when they did, when something happened, they didn't have a plan B in place. And you know what? Rescue made it work in this type of situation. Yes, they still need to find a way in, but I think they know what they are doing. They're trying to catch all these funnels on the outside. We'll find the sight line. 3rd kill right now.
This is again, though, the beauty of their position, Tarzan. This is why I said he can punish everyone coming from Pachinki, because his warehouse, this shack, it is so OP for Rescue if they can just fire down on those dire straits for Team Savage. Cyrax as well, going to lose 1 to triple, and they are not having a pretty time at all. Rescue, they step up further into the zone, though they are focusing, trying to play on this edge while being aggressive and taking those teams late on the rotation. Their 5th kill confirmed away, and this is the style of Rescue that we wanted to see. And with now Cyrax out, we're down to our final 3 already, but look who is at the top. Triple Sports Club, another 13 kill game for them. I mean, they are skyrocketing in this first match.
We are not surprised, to be fair, for this team. We've been waiting for this since forever. Now, after all, their placement points like 38 before today and 53 kill points. So the aggression is definitely there. This is where they make a big game. This is where they prove that they can still challenge that spot.
They find a knock, though, one onto rescue, but do they get the push? That was a beautiful nade, but no, without the follow-up, they can't confirm the kill. But that zone, it goes all the way over towards them, and you could see that they're making that 2-2 split. They're hovering over the final two teams. Nade straight into the shack makes it so difficult now for the rest of Conqueror to make any moves, and especially even for rescue, if they're just going to keep on knocking right the door of Triple Sports Club, but they slam it in their face, and Triple Sports Club do not allow rescue inside of this zone.
Rescue need to make a choice. They cannot rely on everyone surviving. They need to make use of one guy to provide one option out and the rest to risk it a little bit. I think that's the only way to do it. And they're still burning time. Here comes the blue. 70 meters. That's extremely far without those utilities.
Still, they're falling down. Sceptives is on a 1v3 mission, and he's taking it. He finishes them off. Yes, he dies, but they can turn their attention to Conqueror, but it's a 2-on-2. They're still alive. They're still kicking. They take down now. Being now Hisoka and Danoka, it's up to them. Everything relies on them with their 10 kills to potentially turn this away. They have the zone given to them, but that shed is pretty darn predictable. And you're wondering, do the rest of Triple Sports Club have any utility remaining? Naz on the Overwatch? Don't think so. They're playing it a little bit cautious, and that is why they're probably going to have to go for that wrap around. But we need to also get inside the zone. They need to peek a little bit over that ridge.
Waiting for that zone now, that would dictate so much. The problem is, Conqueror just keep re-smoking anyway, and that is a known position. The biggest function of that smoke is to make sure there's no nade coming through that small window. And that's about it, but we need to wait for this next shift coming through. I think that's going to be extremely important, and I think I'm going to put money onto Triple in this one. They've got the angles they can rotate without giving away any info, and yeah, that's basically it. But who knows? That's a bit too small for us to find out what the case is anyway.
I agree. They've got also the vehicles. They've got a buggy, they've got a vehicle and a car there as well. So Triple Sports Club, they have the tools necessary to be able to dive this if they would like. But now, I think what they're trying to do is, of course, just whittle away, though, the health bars of Conqueror until they need to go in. There is still healing, though, equipped onto Conqueror UK, but they are outside of the zone. You can see it now on the edge, and both of these teams, they need to move in a little bit. They're a couple single digits worth of meters away from that safety, and with only 10 seconds left, we will have to wait until that zone closes up to see how these teams will be forced to move, because you can see even on the edge of that shack, still 4 meters away, means that Conqueror, they can no longer hold Tarzan that position inside of the blue.
But you know what? If I were Conqueror UK, I'm going to smoke the sides to stop the flank, to force the sort of Triple to all peak in the middle so that I can line up my shots. That would be my call there. The aggressive smoke is going to be so important. They still need to come with that plan. Those vehicles are not reliable anymore. And the elevation means that they need to throw an aggressive smoke instead of a defensive one. We'll use the buggy anyway. And that is a great bait.
Oh, they're going, but Danoka's already down so low. They did get one knock, but Naz and Reznov, I think they know that they got the damage to close this out. Danoka trying to come around from one angle, but they don't have the peak. They don't have the pre-fire in Triple Sports Club. They take the first game, a mega series of games here for them so far. When it comes to those kills, Tarzan, when it comes to how many they got, I believe it was, 12 plus 5, 17 kills in total.
32-point game. That means they're in 120. Insane. Now they are officially in the top pack. And I think with Rescue having that one, they are in 120s as well. But you know what? That end game, a little bit, stuck, I'd say, for both sides. A little bit uncertain. But it's fine. Day one of the day, what's important is so many of these teams, especially in those top three, they are making sure that they still got a chance.
Triple Sports Club, 32 points. I just want to repeat it because now this was the type of game we were looking at, Tarzan. We were saying if the team from 7th, from 8th, from 6th position really can find those big results, can jump up to the top, you see a team like Cyrus Rescue, who, yes, are there, but don't find a massive series of points. TSC Legends, 777, 6-5 for them, respectively. This is still, if Triple Sports Club can keep this up, the opportunity for them, Tarzan, to get into that PMPL. I mean, this was a team that we looked back all the way towards the group stage of PMNC and said, holy, this team, Tarzan. I mean, coming through in that group stage, they were insane. And I love to see when they can pull out these insane games once more.
Yeah, to be able to fight is extremely important. Like, to be fair, like, it sounds like a very stupid statement. It's like, it's so obvious, but man, like, you can see a lot of teams struggle to deliver that fight mechanics.
Smart,
like,
right?
Yeah, they cannot. Yes, exactly. A lot of people lack that like smart aggression and a lot of really blunt, aggression coming through. And I think the start of Triple are one of those teams that's stuck in the middle, like from time to time, like forgot to set the context for their aggression. And once they get that down and play the map more, you can see they've got no issue. And this is great to see them back into the run.
I absolutely love to see when this leaderboard gets a little bit spicy, Tarzan. But it's only going to get spicy with Sanhok, the jungle up next. We'll see you guys there. And we are back, Tarzan, for the PMCO UK Finals 2021 fall season. The final day, of course, and what was an insane game coming through from Triple Sports Club there, bringing that undecidedness into an even larger scale, Tarzan, in between who actually gets that top spot.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Just making things more interesting, allow us to play more, math stuff and stats. Always love that. And you know what I love about that game as well? Pachinki finishes. You know, sometimes when you go to the side of the maps, you can say, hey, and I don't know that part of the map. Everyone knows Pachinki. Right? A lot of teams just need to practice, in boot camp, in the Pachinki, Picard, all these hot drops. So there's no excuse, right? So that was a good test.
As we do jump to those overall standings, Tarzan, to see exactly how far they pushed themselves up, can see still a little bit of ways to go. There is still 27 points different. TSC Legends, it did pick up points in that game. That was the crucial part of it. Sorax as well, 777 and Rescue respectively too. But they are definitely there. I mean, they are already now ahead of Gaijin and Seraphim, and I think that with Triple now there, I mean, even to an extent, Conqueror gonna need to play like they're on fire if they want to even think about that top spot over the next 3 games, just like Triple too. But as we say, the opportunity, albeit available, I think that it's a little bit unfortunate that also 1802, they didn't actually have a good game, because they also, if they could have performed here at the start of this first match, Tarzan, they could have definitely been up there as well.
Yeah, I think they really knew that Pachinki Hill was very, very strong. Has always been strong, but you can't lose the basic, right? Like, it was in the first circle the first time around. It complements the phase 1 circle. That means you need to do the homework to properly scout it. And they just went down very, very quickly because the Son of Cyrex knew when to open fire as well. So that is a great way to see them coming back now, holding the second spot. But on that second page, of course, we've still got a handful of teams struggling. But on the rise, though, is definitely Wizard Esports.
Wizard, of course, they were on that rise, but I don't think they're probably going to be in contention for that top spot. I mean, this, of course, 75 points away still in 3 games to go. You'd have to see the rest of these teams not play if they wanted to get that top spot. But what we can do is they can get that prize money. And I think you also have to think about, well, that top 8 and really that top 6 mark, when you go into that prize money, it does start to increase quite a lot more. And I think that that's something that obviously these teams are going to be aware of. But yes, they might not be able to get that top spot, but they can at least steal the show. When it comes to taking away that prize pool, I think that is something that is still going to be an incentive, and it should be an incentive for these teams to play for.
I think knowing that there is a decent jump between, but it's hard to predict, right? It's very hard to say, hey, look, if we take this point, we take an extra $50. Like, that's not the way to play this game, right? So I think when they are not really having the mentality to win the whole thing, because we've only got 3 games to go, it allows them to play the best PUBG, maybe have the most fun. And that mentality helps a lot. Sometimes in the past as well, just teams coming in the day that seems to be a bit hopeless for them, but play the best PUBG, very decisive, doesn't look indecisive and very slow anymore, and suddenly just play like a different team in the way that we wish to see them play from that day one. But the pressure is on those teams who feel like they can still make it, and there's a handful, if not 2 handfuls of them. So you know what, it's game 2 time. It's going to be crazy jungles. Man, it's going to be spicy.
It's going to be a rumble in the jungle, Tarzan, over on Sanhok, but also with our beautiful sponsor, Xiaomi, where you can enjoy a super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G. Tarzan, going down across this beautiful playing path, a very centralized one for these teams, makes it all the more open for teams to decide where they want to go. And I think we talked about, I'm going to hand it still, the teams wanted to drop down on top of each other in maps like these. This is a gift of an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and you can see certain things have come through. Those adaptation that are there to stick, right? So for Triple, they definitely will just play camp on the Kawi side and just loot up. They played a little bit slower game yesterday, a little bit too slow, in my opinion. Very hard, but to be fair, if you come late to Northwest Island, that's hard anyway. But that means the side of 777 will not be contested in hard hit, but this one is so spicy. It's a northern circle, and it's 30% water. So many teams went for the southwestern island, so this is going to be a very different one.
Already, that zone with so much water, Tarzan, you really got to feel that so many of those teams on that Southwest Island, as you said, it's going to be a bloodbath to see who really gets out of that. I mean, already around Ruins, my concern is actually Conqueror, because you look Hisoka away from the rest of their team, the rest of Conqueror inside Ruins as well. It could be a massive upset against them in their rise in the leaderboard, but also a massive upset against Cyrax if they do fall down here, because we've already got one knock against him, and it's Arena 51, no less. I mean, coming off of a chicken dinner yesterday, Arena 51, we know that this team can have those big days. It had that mega day to be able to get into these finals in the first place, and I just wish we could see even more of that beautiful AR-50 development we've seen before.
Yeah, but that big game yesterday relied on them going to that Northwest Island, taking that hill early on, and with the circle continuing going to them. And this time they want to disrupt a little bit, right? Like Sammy completely on the other side, or should I say on the south side, and may cause some serious damage to Cyrax. Like, even if they didn't trade any kills, this is going to slow down Phase 1 a lot. And both teams may end up chasing the zone, and this can be terrible, right? But I hopefully... Arena 51 is here for some good fight, good PUBG, and not really just coming here to drop on some other teams, right? Like, I mean, it's fine. Yeah. That is the way to play it, but they should be able to know how to play this well as well, so that we can at least see some good PUBG.
I want to be screaming Arena 51's name as well. I want to see all of these teams step up. I want to be able to say these teams' names when they can make those plays count. In times like these, when Cyrax is against the wall with that lead that they have to keep coming with time and time again every single game tonight, if Arena 51, they stop them, this could be that one game that Cyrax, they wish he had played better. Scythe is stepping forward outside, will shut the door. Now makes it a little bit trickier. Didn't go outside, so doesn't get caught. Will go potentially outside again, but Cyrax, they stick together. This is crucial because, again, Arena 51, the way that they're playing is they are playing to try pick off Cyrax if they move too far away from each other. But I like the way that Cyrax are trying to minimize that.
It's amazing. Like, you don't need to push this. Yeah, like, you can see Arena 51 is the type of team that will just react to... just play responsive, reactive. Of course, they don't know that it's Arena 51, but one thing that we all know is that it should be a northern rotation that they both need to make. So taking hill control on that northern side might be the first step to open the map up, to fight it in on different terms. And then, like, Cyrax can play it in their terms and get a really good advantage.
Already, though, they are starting to split this one. You can see Cyrax away from the fight. Arena 51, they do start to try pushing a little bit of pressure. Nade only going to go wide, though, and now Scythe on the back end has a beautiful angle, might I just say here, Tarzan, on every single one of those Arena 51 members. I mean, albeit Xerox is the only one he can't really see, but now that also Arena 51, they can't just go straight for the push. This means that they have to play smart, and they are trying to go for that push straight in. They will find one. They go back in, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. They can't get back in against the wall in time. Translate, being a little bit sneaky. Maybe can't catch out Cable. Cable being so slow. Translate, they have to play this patient. They have to play this slow. Cable is going to walk forward into him. If they can find that second knock, that's something you really start to see change here. But Cyrax is a 1-for-1 trade right now, and already, even if Arena 51 lose, their damage has already started to be done.
Yeah, like, slowed down looting phase. And that is a beautiful knock. This may be time to go. 2 kills coming through. 4v2 cannot make any mistakes, though, especially with this, like, really far rotation. They need numbers to make sure they can trade whenever. It will be down to that one. Translate, not scared to shoot, and that will be him knocked again. A bit too impatient there, and that will be them challenging Cyrax and not making it count. Clean fight for Cyrax as they progress into the later phases with at least 4 kills. 1,300 meters, though, they need some vehicles maybe, and Island Wolf a little bit worried for them after all, because they didn't have as much time to loot, and then that Southwestern Island is very populated, so if they want to loot, that rotate plus loot, you know, just, or should I say loot along the way, it's not going to be as efficient.
This is what I really was going to take here, Tarzan, was actually the fact that it's been 5.5 minutes. That fight went on. Example UK also in a fight against Conqueror, but it's just not going to work out when you're on your solo plays here, Naka, inside your own shack. They even sniped down Rekko from the rest of the map. Kiteboy has to make that revive, but Snowboy's already trying to find it. They take Kiteboy as well. An example UK destroyed by Conqueror UK. Here is the better UK team, 4 kills.
Woo! Snowboy, what do you eat for breakfast, man? Like the QBZ with that type of spray, almost a double headshot coming through. But you know what? Example UK, challenge that with a peek, and then you just go down. So that might be Conqueror on the rise as well. They are extremely shaky, to be fair, but they got a decent game to start today with, and they are still in the run.
Oh, they are plenty in the run here, Tarzan. But Wizard up against TSC also had a brilliant game so far. First match, but not so much. Budo fakes them away, but steps up too long. Dragon also with the punish. I think that was a slight mistake in Bujo. You could have probably prone down onto your stomach, and that would have actually been able to be a denied extra first away from Dragon, but albeit they are having the support there, so Bujo should be able to be revived. However, maybe not, actually, as now they have to push away even more. And Jaja getting knocked as well. This is really quite a disaster here for TSC, even if they win this fight 2v3 now. They've lost 2 members.
Man, you know what? Like, mistakes from both sides. Like the Wizard player, Golden just didn't even need to move. It was him crawling for that one, move, that one shuffle gave the audio cues away, and then Buju just stopped and decided to kill him. But you said it right. It's not actually about proning, I don't think. Just nade it. Simple. And that's it, right?
That's true.
And that's done. But that is at least a decent setup to at least continue to control that segment, right? You've got relative high ground, you've got covers, and TSC need to go very, very wide with that. And it's not good for them because they are up top, but they've only got that 1 kill and down to a duo for this circle. They need to play some sort of macro game, which is sometimes very extremely hard as a duo on Sanhok. Like, hopefully they got some meds with the adjuster split and to at least get some points by surviving.
Just the way that I think these teams play the micro side of things, try to go for these flushies, again, the aggression. That is what it all comes back down to. And I think it's something that we have been talking about all finals long. I mean, this over-aggression from the similar teams, this is what really punishes them in their mistakes. And I think this is probably the biggest factor of why teams do get punished. However, albeit Conqueror, they also are looking to punish down another. Incurred victory, still again a trio. I mean, where is their final member?
I mean, the key thing is, fine, like you are trio, you want to play a palm position, and you're not using the best strength from this position to hold that, but that will be Quexa actually delivering that first knock. 2 knock coming through.
3 already. Going to go back, though. Tequila as well. Going to now get knocked potentially as well. Barely survives. But there's no raccoon here. This is a problem Tarzan it comes back to. So it's still a 2-2 fight. But look at that zone. What is that zone, Tarzan? That is a pretty disgusting one just for phase 2.
Man, like, guys, how crazy is that? When I say cow is in the center circle, then you know how crazy it is, right? But that fight there was just a little bit scrappy. But this is time for Uncles to really gain some grounds. 18-0-2 as well. Both teams can't suffer, can't really hold any more losses. That is not something that they want, and it keeps happening. 18-0-2 is choking themselves again and again.
But they being again over-aggressive, Tarzan. This is what we were concerned about. This is what I was worried about. Teams getting too eager in the fights, thinking they can make these solo plays and not using their brain to say, hey, let's think about this for 2 seconds. Can I realistically go for this 1v2 in this position? Is the land in my hands? Is it in my favor? Or will I just walk up to my death?
Yeah, it's about like the hype going the wrong way, right? Oh, someone's right here, and the first, like the initial reaction is to go and peek and have a look. You don't have to do that. Like, you have your previous info that you can use as well, right? So as a trio, uncles need to make it out. Hopefully they are just having some issues when it comes to that last player and not some disagreement, but I can't say that it's impossible, and we'll go back down again, down to that one player, Jack with the style, and they takes them down. The uncles out again with the 14th place.
Bunzik should be, yes, revived barely in time. Current victory, though, still in the fight versus Conqueror. And it's all, meanwhile, Tequila trying to stay alive, but it's all on his own, and there's nothing to be done. Their KV will drop, and it's 7 kills so far, and no one lost as Snowboy gets revived from the edge of Conqueror. I mean, you can see in the way that Conqueror are trying to play today, Tarzan, it is a different team altogether. They are so confident in the way they are playing these first 2 games so far.
I agree. They definitely still need to find that line. Remember the first compound of which they crashed Kurt victory. They just drove up like to a position like that. Like for a better squad who hold that spot, even as a duo, they would for sure have someone to control that bridge, and Conqueror would have been punished for that. They would keep someone along those like huge rocks along the shoreline as well. So Conqueror, I'm very happy for them, but they really need to still keep the basics. But we're down to 12 teams, 41 players, and still, remember, a very, very northern circle, guys.
In around, I think you said carry that center position. You're hoping, you're praying that zone goes back to the mainland. I think we're probably, depends how mean you're feeling, Tarzan. I mean, for me, I'm probably hoping it goes towards the water. Will it go towards the water, though? It sort of does. Cow up towards the center once more. But where 777 are and where Wizard are just below that, that's really also a crucial location because it is so hard as well to navigate, I think, really coming into Cow, coming into that high north part of the coast, because it is starting to feel a lot more open when you come down into that area.
Yeah, and I think it's great that Cyrex got some cars. This is the type of circle that you kind of just need those. Find the best line to, basically, because we talk about Tatmok Road like quite frequently. It's really a choke spot, especially when there's multiple teams in there already, a lot of split compounds. So to come in wide from this side is probably a very good idea. And Cyrex need to respond though, but 2 cars so that they've got 2 gunners to keep their crosshairs onto the next possible enemy is just the way to do it. And they probably found their way in. That was a good rotation.
777, not so much good position for them, though. Only gonna lose 2. There, Wizard with the upset. Conqueror as well, trying to take some kills as 2. They take their 9th of the game so far. I mean, Conqueror, they have also a position here. I think this is a beautiful position. I mean, it's rock. This is them knowing the map, Tarzan, when it comes to this area of the game. The fact that they have so much control over so many teams, and you can't even nade back across that rock because there is so much open expanse. Unless you knock both One Death and Snowboy off the map, then you cannot push up this hill.
Yeah, but you know what? And that is a very right thing to do as well. Hisoka with the decisiveness coming in, but that's a little bit too far. That is the 1 kill given over to a team that you don't want to give, and that is a 2 mistake coming through. 2 piece for Londa.
But Conqueror, why? They were doing so well. They didn't need to go for that kill. I think that Danoka was coming in. What you do is you circle with Hisoka around once more, Tarzan. And Snowboy going in as a solo as well. Yes, you're trying to peek with 1 death. But a molly straight onto Snowboy forces his position. They barely don't lose a 3rd. But this is disaster for Conqueror, who looked so good. They make such a critical error.
Well, to be fair, they can just bring 1 player to at least continuously spray down one side of the rock, and those 2 Overwatch can still get it done. And that is the crucial mistake, like you mentioned, but equally crucial for 777. Yes, I get that. Like, they want to leave Tatmok so they didn't have to cross later, but with a continuous like northern circle that's basically set from phase 1, if you didn't have that car, you just need to go on foot, right? So you need to go even earlier than that. Otherwise, just make use of Tatmok. They didn't, and they were stuck in the middle. But we're down to so many of these teams that are still needing those points. Like Gaijin still in play, TSD still surviving.
When it comes to this game, Tarzan, if Gaijin they can't step up in this game, they're going to be 50 plus points behind, and I don't think that they will be in contention. This is the pressure for them against the edge of the blue as they lose another. Chonu goes down, Lord goes down as well. That zone is disgusting, Tarzan, in this second match. I mean, this is the hardest Sanhok, rightly so, that we've seen for these teams have to play.
I agree. And that is also just testing the macro skill. Like, yes, it's still extremely important rotation, and whether you know this part of the map will give you a huge advantage. Otherwise, people are just going to crash those compounds, but you need a car to do that, and you need the awareness. You need that game sense to at least got those cars and then park them well. Right now, it's not going to be easy. Cyrex gets slowed down from this side.
Already one now onto Hype. Born for Victory. They do have one against them too. But Zabi drops. Knight takes down Jack as well from 1802. Can't finish. Yes, they do finish though. That kill, barely enough spray. Conqueror, one death. Also drops. You can see it in the kill feed. Wizard taking means it goes down to Snowboy as a solo. This is crucial that Snowboy in this game stays alive though. Because if Conqueror lose out here, this is a mega opportunity wasted. And there it is.
Man. Painful. Well, I said that line already, right? I said it. They violated it. And that is them. You know what? But they still know like what they've done this game. I think they've learned it, and then they also delivered enough. Like, so that's important, but still could have gotten a lot more. BVOV though, waking up a little bit. We talked about how they are constantly on the downslide so far. Same for 1802. So a little bit of outside of zone play won't be to anyone's advantage really, except those 1 or 2 kill points may matter when you didn't know, and Cyrex goes out as well. So that is going to be a very interesting leaderboard after this game.
A massive setup here for now. Those who are alive is 1802. They only lose another 3 for Born for Victory. I think, yes, of course, these teams are not going to be able to compete. I mean, 1802 have really also struggled with this pressure. Yes, they've got 4 kills so far, Tarzan, but down to 3 players. I mean, you can feel it in the way, obviously, in that first game. They feel definitely hit, and they feel hit hard.
Yes, and you know what? Now that I think about that leaderboard and the current scenario, TSC duo, rescue duo, Cyrex out, 777 out, Triple Sports Club are still in here. 6 kills. They are on the rise, and they're not even scared. They know that this is Sanhok. There are still people for them to farm from the outside. They got sight lines towards that center, and this could be the turning point for what we did not expect for today.
They need, though, to be very careful. We need to keep players alive because a zone like this requires not only the vehicles, as we said, but also the players and numbers for the opportunities to split across Tarzan.
That is a new zone that is kind of benefiting them, though. But that landscape's not easy to get through. That's the key thing. But they do have the numbers. They've got the momentum. There's still a few of these lost players on the outside for them to farm, and before you know it, they got those crucial 1 or 2 points. Maybe still very, very cautious, but that will be rest not being found. That is the far one from Jimmy, but he will get knocked. Good response from Naz.
Beautiful from Naz. That was required. Look at the HP bars on them. They are so low, and now Hilu can maybe step up on. He has Spider. He's trying to get to the spray. Is there. Now they know he's there. And they're only going to find now the 8th kill of the game. I mean, Triple. This is another huge opportunity. But do they waste it like Conqueror? Do they have the opportunity to stay alive? However, there's also Team Savage. They're running UV inside the blue. Now scope up against Wizard, but Rescue, TSC, these are the other threats. These are the teams, Tarzan, that are the ones we're looking for when we're also looking at Triple Sports Club. Because if any of those other 2 drop now inside that 5th, 4th position, you are easily looking at now a great opportunity for Triple Sports Club to make that rise, albeit they still can. And TSC, remember, they lost 2 earlier on, but Tony is the only one remaining.
And you know what? He's also in the positions that's very easy to get spotted. So it will be the battle of that leaderboard as well. Like Rescue still in there. Not sure whether they are in the circle, but with that relative high ground, they can decide when to move and when to strike. Royman may not really get in. It's a little bit too far now. the Kobe to his death. Would that be able to get that kill?
Spill, they do fall down, but Triple, they also got knocked. Remember, you see the nades, you see the utility coming through from Wizard. The upset is there. It is upset after upset. And now Reznov with the phase 6 blue coming into his hands. It is, I think, about healing at this point for Triple. You have to try rely on so many of these teams on the outskirts falling down. I mean, you lose already to Reznov is doing just that. There is no going to be any moving at all. But TSC, they also drop another position for them. Reznov is trying to make that upset. Reznov is trying to push forward, but he needs to keep healing. He cannot stop, and it might have been too late. Yes, he does get another one off, and there's only one more. He can see those first kits out there, and he should be able to get that next two.
And I think it's very good for him to look out for the timing for those first eights. He did not pop it straight away. That is good experience coming through. With the castle in front of him, there is still a chance. And I think it will be down to this really important skill. You can see it's there. He's picking up absolutely everything. The team's getting him prepared. And that could be huge, because talk about the sidelines from Rescue, but no. A little bit too late, because phase 7 popped, so he has to recalculate. But you know what? Very good effort, and Rescue on the rise. We thought they were gone.
But Rescue, they have now the chance to take this game away. Another chicken dinner in their hands. Wizard, they have the zone though. And I mean, Rescue, they have to step up. Where do they go? Because there is no vehicle, Tarzan. They only have rocks. And that is going to be such a tricky entrance in. They don't have the players. More importantly, there's only 2 remaining.
There's no Nyx cover for them to play. Like, that's the key thing. But that's Quality finding the angle. What the hell is that prediction? That was beautiful.
And that is the type of angle you need. You get that knock. You now have that entrance. You have that position inside the zone. Rescue, they could do it, but Tick's eating up the blue, and they need to keep moving. That blue is moving in, and it's forcing their hand. They're trying to mega Kobe nade onto Deeker and Joker, but it's not far enough. It only tickles Joker. And now phase 7, they're wasting health bar. They need to continue to move forward, but where do they go? They have spray. Rescue, they're losing one. Coyote, they're gonna lose another. Will be Rescue though to strike away onto Wizards? How do they take this game?
That is a huge mistake from Wizard. There's only one thing that they needed to do to make it a whole lot easier. Look at the zone, look at the position, nade the entry line for Rescue. Then you, even if you don't take them out, there's a little bit of damage and a lot of shake on that screen. And that is what they had to do. But you know, we talked about it. They haven't get these chicken dinner yet, I don't think. Yes, haven't gotten any. And now they're so close that they are choking. Man, yeah. Jesus, my brain.
That was the easiest game. I mean, I understand for Wizards' take, if there was any, but Rescue, the fact that they got those extra points, every point matters today, and that could be that crucial game that they really get. And those 3 extra points taking a West, that is what excites me so much, is we do overall look at that leaderboard standings from the second game too. And I'm very intrigued to see actually coming back as well from that break already how those overall standings look.
I cannot believe it. Like, I thought Rescue was gone, but you know, like those vehicles to move to a key position and just to play off center, like a position off center that gives you the next option, was the key to their success in that game. Of course, the zone helped, but it was also great to see Wizard. Yes, we were harsh in that last game, but it's pretty like clear what they could have done differently, but still a very important game. Same for Triple Sports Club. And I don't know what to say. We've seen many things like this game that gave us some hope. And we know that the teams are trying their best. Like they fixed a few things. Like it could have been a lot worse.
But am I also disappointed in the sense that we haven't seen these crazy styles of play coming from teams in the finals? Why does it have to come down to the final day, Tarzan, for these teams to step up? That's what disappoints me so much. But crucially, we have to handle it for 2 games. Miramar is the next one on the board. We will see you guys then.
Welcome back, guys. We are going to have that game 3 very soon. I am missing a friend. Don't worry, he's finding his way back. Just more tech stuff, okay? But we are very ready for this. 2 more games to find out who will represent our region. That is pretty intense, I have to say. Like, a lot of these teams, we thought they're going to go out because they lost players early. They stayed in. They were still strong. And then we've got teams who, had a very strong start like Cyrex and Conquer UK, but did not make it further. So I don't know how to see that one. I'm waiting for Michael Caster to come back, but don't worry, like he is safe. I can guarantee you that. He is loading up his beat bus. And we all know how he loved those beat bus on the Miramar right there. So I think the interesting thing when it comes to Miramar as well would be, let's start with one very interesting thing. Let's use statistics, right? Like, yes, if you are with me. Hey, that's a fake one. I did not freeze. mm. 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 Yes. By the way, was that good when I pretended that I was first? Like, the producer's gonna hate me. I'm sorry. I was like,
Yeah.
not again. Like, why? It just got fixed. No, I'm joking. You know what? Don't take me out though, please. Like, keep me on the screen. one bit of stat I think is very important and very interesting. To be fair, from yesterday was when the uncle's hot drop on Impala onto Cyrex, because like that didn't work for them, but it helped Cyrex to get those early points and kind of gave them a way back into the tournament as well. So, like many of these situations that we will still see, the storylines in that middle part around Hacienda between TSC Legends and Conquer UK is another bit of story. So, these two parts, I would say, in this upcoming game shall be my focus.
Of course, so the focus really is on can that consistency stay? Because we talked about aggression being something that is clearly possible in Erangel and also Sanhok, but it's a different beast when you come down onto Miramar. It's a lot about more of positioning, and something that I am being concerned about, because of positioning is what has really let down teams when it has started to get that rise. As we look back towards Conqueror, making that mistake, pushing too hard in their own mispositioning, we look towards the rest of Triple Sports Club, mispositioning once more in that late game, getting naded down by Wizard. But also, now when it comes to even the likes of Wizard themselves mispositioning against Rescue, we see that same mistake time and time again so far today. I think it's a different and a change from, of course, the over aggression, but it's still a position that we have to be able to fix ourselves from.
Very hard to fix in a way. Like, I think they know their position and they know how they rotate in, and that should set the scene for that preparation, right? Like that, we usually just drop here and there. We usually rotate this way, and along that path, we usually clash with this particular team, and that is where you can start with a preparation, right? They like that spot, then that's where you look for the way that exactly make that split, how you look for an opening and maybe take that position away. So that would be just one out of many, many ways. Like, after all, it's still very, very tough to make some viable, I would say, adaptations in a day or two. So, good luck to these teams. Just 2 more games to go. And if there's any wish, man, I hope they remember that this game is still fun, and then they can play their best, like knowing that, there's still that thing that they can always rely on. But we look at those overall standing to give us more of that perspective once again.
Overall standings, of course, meaning a TSC with that little bit of points have been able to garner have put themselves ahead. Rescue as well in second position, however, 147 for them. Albeit though, Tarzan, that gap between fourth to second and even fifth to second, honestly, is very tight. There's only 8 points in between it. And I think that, again, we come back to TSC Legends. Their lead is requiring them to still play well. Not a 20-point game, but at least a 10 plus 11, 12 point game for the next two minimum to really have that chance of staying in first. If they don't, as we said, if they have that bad game, you are really, really, really looking now at who are those four other teams who will be able to rise.
Yeah, I think, you know what? Very interesting game based on a different perspective as well. So listen to this, guys. Rescue and Triple Sports Club are not the best on this map, right? But they got points in the earlier game. TSC Legends are overall okay. Decent game just now. Decent on Miramar, but will face against a very angry Conqueror UK early game. Cyrex and 777 Esports, they had huge wins on Miramar before, but that previous game was no good. So if you get to choose which one got the momentum, I can't even answer my own question.
I mean, when you talk about Conqueror in UK, and of course said TSC Legends dropping over on top of each other, that's a really important point because honestly, if Conqueror do upset TSC, it really widens the possibilities once more, and it makes it so much harder for us to predict who actually wins. But including, I think, the fact that we do also look towards that prize money, right? And we see that, again, Wizard have really stepped up today, I think, really considering, albeit it has been difficult for them. But yes, they made some mistakes, but they have been able to be that rise up in the top, and now in ninth position. I also kind of wonder, though, because Wizards have been kind of stagnant in this position for what has been the majority of the finals so far, around that 9th, 10th position. We're not actually really seen them, I think. Have we even seen them in that first page of the leaderboard, these finals?
Really hard to say. I would have to guess no, but I'm not certain at all. But that is the issue, right? Like they're definitely not so bottom, but they are definitely not kind of at the top. And so really a good definition of a mid-tier team with occasional spikes. So we need more than that. And to be fair, if they can do decide to continue playing together, they have a lot of potential. You can see the gun skills are there and all that. But right now, I just can't wait to see this one. Let's go. It's game 3 time.
Oh, game 3 in Xiaomi as well. You can enjoy your super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's Redmi Note 10 5G. Tarzan, this is the third game, the second last game overall. And this is the last time we will get to see Miramar, albeit it is going to be a very intriguing one because a lot of those teams, of course, when we look to those drop positions, you see Impala, we see Puerto Palacio, some of those locations, El Azahar as well, going to be a little bit harder for them, but also coming back towards Valdemar, Shumasira, Minister Val, that south side, it actually speaks back towards the group stage and what we saw there, because a lot of those teams, when you give them the options over towards the south side, they do take that.
Yeah, I think the issue right now, when we talk about that top part of the chart, Cyrex Esports and Impala team still deciding to go towards that side, but very close to them we've got some other teams who wants to play around that position as well, right? So of course it won't be as close because the strongest teams somehow are in that more middle part, and this time around TSC is not going to stay that close to Hacienda, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do come in and have a look after all, and that will be 777 needing to control Chumasera because last time they definitely get contested around there, and the side of Kurt victory caused disruption when they are down to that one player. So no mistakes to be made this way, otherwise 777 may just lose their mojo.
Zone as well kind of goes towards the northeastern side again here, Tarzan, but already I think the real worry here is how teams get from the south side up towards the north, because I think that clearly the most obvious rotations would be to come from Los Leones, Impala as well, make that wide southern rotation. I think that makes a lot of sense. It is going to take slightly longer. I will wonder, as we do see Born for Victory lose one to Arena 51, if teams try to be a little bit too impatient and decide to go across that main road coming from the junctions over towards the west in towards then where Rescue are and into Happy and other paths on, because if they are impatient and you go for that quicker route, it's a lot harder to go through, and I think the teams will be punished for making those rotations. Even if they tried to go in the early game, it wouldn't work because they're already those two teams, Rescue as well, I believe was TSC Legends, gatekeeping those sides.
Oh, and this is actually an interesting early fight. Like, you want to play some splits, you want to be big brain, and then Bu just got caught off guard when he's trying to hold that southern position, I should say. But Jimmy need to deliver again. Zarek's coming in very angry, but doesn't matter. Demon will fall.
D-Man will fall, but we also have to watch your back. There is still one coming in. But Born for Victory, now it had backup. They got Knights here, and I think for Born for Victory, we have clearly a mega advantage in this fight. It's a 2v4. This should be an easy one. They are split as well, Arena 51. It's now the patience. It's about letting Translate walk into you and taking him down from there. Tries to walk up one. This is, again, a beautiful position for Born for Victory. Bait with one, shot down with the other.
You know what? Like, just skirmish play and fighting abilities. BeVolV is definitely better, like, across the whole tournament. To be fair, like, Arena 51 has made some decisions in game that basically looks like they're avoiding fights. So if you have a team like that, of course you didn't get that practice in. Like, you need to feel and be calibrated to fights when you're playing on stage to be able to repeat that same thing and then possibly get more results, right? And this time around, back to Trimacero mentioned the very tricky one, and unfortunately playing as a trio today, Kurt Victory will give that one kill to 777 Esports. The interesting thing is them getting away. Like, I could be Tequila just, tripping and then like grieving it a little bit, like, but the other two to be able to get away is important. Like we always say, do not underestimate the power of those duos, trios, or even solos.
Example, also, they did not have the greatest of games in that second match. I mean, is it safe to say that example UK, they just got clearly outplayed and outclassed in that Sanhok match? And again, it's like problem here for potentially also getting outclassed over in El Pozo because they are very split overall. I mean, look how wide they are, but then look at the positioning as a wizard. All four players triangulating down onto Kindboy. I mean, there is no way that Kindboy should be allowed to come back towards the rest of his team.
Yeah, I think the very important thing is to use the early game info, including enemy position and vehicle spawns, to give you those, considerations. You can't just wait here forever. Like, we've seen these before last time around in Picado, like when we were still in group stage, and we just get so frustrated watching them like not doing anything. Like, this can turn into that. I don't think it should be though, because this is the finals, but for such a huge city of El Pozo, it's very hard to get something done. So I'd say those decisions should come through now. There should be a time set for a certain plan to be executed, and that is Golden maybe getting the angle to make something work. That is him finding the angle. That might just be where this starts.
That was beautiful from Golden Tars, and you needed that type of play, and you needed those type of quick decisions. With that knock, not only do they confirm their first kill in this fight, but what they have done now is they can clearly open up their position further down towards the rest of them. Or if they don't want to take that fight, they can just rotate down the north and go for that wide rotation, because keep in mind, where that first was is not a bad idea to kill and then just to walk away.
Wow. And the disrespect actually coming in as well. Like, interesting one, but well, like, hopefully they can continue to perform, because like that actually takes some time. Like, unless they really didn't have those bullets, I think it's better to have done it quicker. It's just a personal thing, I didn't like people playing disrespectful. It's not like you're playing very good anyway in this tournament. Like, sometimes that's just the thing. Like, I think it translates into maybe possibly like mindset, but of course it's a small thing. Maybe it's just friendly banter. Right here though is just a pain to see, like, from time to time. Teams coming into huge city, not really having a good formation. Like, you ask them, why do you make that split? Then they may not know. Like, how do you help each other? How can you cover angles? If that fails, like, where do you go? Is there a reason why they are splitting like this? Like, do they even know themselves? Like, I always question that. I think sometimes when a particular player get knocked or when they get pushed, that is when you know that they have not had these down. But Joker comes in, they want to be the kings of El Pozo before they actually have to go.
They do go inside the blue, but they grab the second knock onto Example UK Tarzan, and it just looks so bad for Example UK today. Yes, it sucks so much that they, of course, have not been able to have a good day, but that Nate says different. Naka with a double. That is the type of turn that you want. And now Golden on their road. Potentially this could be the upset. And from what could have been disappointment and hyper me up, certainly, Naka going in for the 1v3, but it does not take Golden. The revive comes in. Will he be quick enough? He's maybe giving too much time. Now with Rekko, they force away the revive. They confirm now the third. Naka, they bait him out of the house, out of the flats, and they take everything away from Wizard. Dragon is the only one left, but it is time for Dragon to leave.
Naka is nuts. Like, it's not the first time that we've seen him do something like that. Do you remember that first ever game of this tournament? If it's not the first game, it's the first day. Like 11 or 13 kills, something like that. He's not scared, this guy. And he's got some potential. Probably the carry of this team, to be fair. Like, just objectively, subjectively, however you want to see it. And, you know, from what we've just seen as well. Very controlled player. And that is a very interesting series of events, and that is them very deep into the blue, and Wizard now need to think, what have we done? What happened? As they need to face the fact that phase 2 circle will go further and further from them to that north side.
This is why I said, Tarzan, you maybe just want to leave, because if that fight goes south, and I may be being a little bit passive here, but if it goes south like we have just seen, you end up getting yourself eliminated very early on. Even if you survive with 1-2 players, there is such a tricky road out of the blue, particularly with that eastern shift. In Dragon, they can't even find anyone. They steal away both vehicles now, and it just feels so bad for Dragon. I mean, can Dragon realistically even do anything? They have a vehicle now in their hands, and rightly so, they do have to move. They have the healing more importantly as well, but it's going to be so hard as that solo player. Co-Victory barely dodge out onto 777 on the edge of the blue themselves. But could he move in from into way vote further inside? I am very concerned how teams are going to be entering in so late, because as you can see on that map, it is continuation as well, Tarzan, of so many teams on the western border, and this is what makes it so complicated.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, this is also Kurdish Victory just living by a sliver of health because of that car. You know, like, good that they arrived to Picardo. They can maybe get another car. Hard to say though. Like, to be fair, it's like it's losing, you know, some love from the players, Picardo. But we've seen, you know, teams trying to take it. They have not been very great in using that position, to be fair. Nonetheless, it's not the spot that you want to be. The zone is even more north. And the rescue in one of these positions, to the north of Junkyard, you know what? Like, it's not a position to play exactly all inside. I think it's a little bit too tricky. It's very easy to get surrounded, like, and your escape strategies are pretty limited. And to be fair, I do find this a bit of a weird choice when it comes to position hold for this particular squad.
Rescue, they'd also have that slight warehouse too for them, so they do have to be careful. Yet, however, because it is the hillside towards Cyrex, Cyrex also, they can be able to find that vision down, but it's going to be very hard, of course, albeit for Cyrex to be able to dive on into this one. I think that Cyrex do make this right decision where they back off, they go further into his zone, they focus more on positioning, because I think that by going more towards positioning in a type of zone like this, it is much more beneficial rather than trying to play for something like a fight early on. Because again, you find yourself put in a position like Wizard, where you fall behind of the pace of the game, and then it becomes so much more harder, particularly with the size of Miramar, to be able to catch up.
Yeah, you know what? Like, Miramar is just so punishing. I think it's, for example, like this side of the map, I should say in particular, and crazy. Like, I think Cruz about all these parts, like they've got some very strong spots, but for whoever goes there late, like, is constant third party that can come from the side, from the back, and it's in particular, I would say this side, you slowly go more uphill as you go north as well, but still many spots to play. And my favorite would be those small bit of plateau, like to the east of Al Azhar, and I think those are in. So that will be a very interesting one. I think just right in that center circle, 1802 cute with the discipline in those audio cues, maybe, but he moved, and that might just be him done.
They know he's here now, but they don't have the damage to cut it. Cute cannot take them with looks, but Conqueror UK will take them with bullets. 1802, Loveco, Jack separated away, and look at the position of one there. Insane position in this fight, because they actually, by doing so, separate 1802 from coming together, while the rest of Conqueror, that duo, they take away Q. And it's again the discipline Q, and I like that adaptation from the second game coming from Conqueror, changing the way that they play. Almost a double grenade in. Snowboy does have to be very careful. Maybe steps back down. Will not eat another one. And a healing coming back once more. Now it is about, can they make very Marco not there to find the angle, and with another knock, one death, catches out Jack, but he tries to cook a third, and this is all but everyone now dead for 1802. A slow start up with a buggy. Do they get away with it in time? Loveco's being shot up. Now they do get away, I do believe, barely. It could be close. Loveco, they live to see another day.
Man, but you know what? Still a chance though. But after all, it's actually good to still see 16 teams right on there. But a good handful of people have died already. But one death, I feel like he might be a key factor to this team. I'm not sure whether my memory serves me correctly, High Level, but I haven't seen him every single day. But when he's here, I feel like I get to say his name quite a few times because they've been on screen. So maybe he's that clutch factor, right? Down to that one player, Dragon will be tested. Can he do this? And he may be able to. Another one will need to heal up, though. B4V still coming in to support. Jimmy can maybe take this one very quickly. The audio you get past on Dragon to actually challenge this with literally 2-3 HP.
I don't think that's the right decision at all. I think he should have been immediately turning to that first aid kit, Tarzan. I think that, again, it's the positioning a little bit too aggressive there over towards B4V, not really respecting the fact that he literally only needs to take one bullet into his body and he dies.
That is bad comms, right? He's so low. Really, really, really low. Just like that is all you need to say. But I think, sometimes I'd say one of the biggest tips that I give to many players is in whatever situation, give info, don't give reactions. I don't need emotions, don't need a reaction, just give me the bloody info. Like, I got knocked, he is low. Done deal. Dragon's out, right? But, sometimes we just know, like, the people, like, swear a little bit. It's like, damn, and all that stuff. What do you mean? Like, just help us win the game, right? Say the next right thing, do the next right thing. Just play good PUBG. And now we have the circle continuously going to that northern side. Man, this is painful. There's not a lot of hard covers to play, and the landscape is very, very punishing.
Landscape, when you look towards their south side, the hills, that's what you're really looking at here, Tarzan. I think that the hills towards the south, again, the high ground, gives you that information. And I believe with, of course, the fact that this is a northern side shift, you're probably ideally wanting to get in there quickly because it isn't taken yet, but by now it started to be taken. One death picks up another row for Conqueror, two continuing not only, I think, to get kills, not only continuing to get points. Of course, I think it's going to be insanely tricky for Conqueror to be able to catch up. I don't think it's possible at this point with 2 games to go. But what they are doing right now is they're taking points, they're taking away from teams like Sports Club, for example.
Yeah, like totally. And for the prize as well, man, like we know that they can do this, right? Like, and they're sweeping on this northwest side, and I actually personally really like it. Let's just take these high ground, clear it out, look at the center zone, and just continue to play that controlling game. And that is Arena 51 just hiding in some tracks. Like, to be fair, like it doesn't feel like they could respond in that compound defense at all. They just feel like maybe that is where I will feel safe for a while. Little do they know that is not the case. The southeastern side, though, can be extremely volatile. Like, it's not easy to go up, like, from Al Azhar. And for whoever knows it better, you can literally find that one small lip of, like, ridge or dip to deal insane damage.
One for victory on the edge of the rest of the damage coming through from Gaijin. Gaijin have that split over them. And Jimmy giving that position away once more, though, makes it so difficult now for Jimmy to continue.
No.
But look who is dead, Tarzan. Cyrax Esports. Cyrax now down. Means Cyrax, this could be that loss that they cannot get back from. Cyrax, who's struggled, it is safe to say, every single game so far. And now, with Triple also struggling, Gaijin may be stepping up too. Even though they probably don't qualify themselves, can still make this upset happen, and this is a danger factor. This is what I was scared about when teams, they start to believe we have nothing to lose, we can play more aggressive, we can play more scary. Teams don't really respect that option.
Yeah, and you know what? For those who are so scared to lose points because there's a lot on the line, that's where you choke as well. And for this circle, I think there will still be more teams who are still stuck outside, not knowing whether to fight or to rotate. That southern side may be just very tricky as we see Gaijin face the side of Triple. Triple still on the rise, and we know that 777 is on that south part as well. So maybe the clash of the triples may happen again, just bringing what's not finished over at Hartin over to the Destrunes of Miramar, and Gaijin here actually playing off a decent position, but just need to look at that surrounding, look at Spill actually missing out of the opportunity. And man, that center circle looks dreadful for these teams.
That road as well, separating all once more as it goes straight in between it. I mean, Uncles, they probably died pretty quickly with this shift, Tarzan. It's an unfortunate thing to say, but it's definitely probably true. TSC, though, I love what they are doing. They are going straight into zone because they know if you do not get in a position right now, you are for sure not going to get into a position later.
And I think for... I would say just 70% of these players, they do not know how this new circle looks like until they get there. I think the experience is probably lacking to that level. And right here is where you need to think whether you need to fight. Like, do you know what the other side of the ridge looks like? As Gaijin take the fight, 3, 2, 1. They want to wrap up the side. Beaver will be going for that revive. May not make it through though.
It's close, they do get a revive off, but instantly back down. Already won, they do take one back, but Jimmy can't take a second. Logan cleans it away, 3 kills so far for Gaijin. And again, now Gaijin, with that fight, how do they get back into Zono? Because look at where Spill they are positioning. If they can clean out Uncles quickly too, you're looking at a position now where Spill, they can easily take away Gaijin's position as well. Brait does step up, almost snipes down Lucreta with a little bit of an overpeak, but Alex as well going solo for the back end, will get knocked. Lucreta almost, yes, will also get knocked as well. Alex going to be confirmed by Gaijin for the back end. And Gaijin, albeit patience to them, destroy now with the help of Uncles the rest of Spill to 2 members.
Man, like if you don't know how the circle looks like, you don't know whether there's a position to go early or late. Look at Gaijin just watching, waiting for the next block to crash, and they can also farm this. Royman too far to support. They try to challenge anyway, and that is them out. The trade come through from Lord, and that is down to 10 teams, or a Spill has spilled their own game.
This is a problem. Yes, they are trying to go for that standard 3-1 split. 3 in the front, 1 back to try to take out Gaijin. But you know, for Gaijin, they have 3 darn players alive. You cannot 1v3 that. Send Royman with the rest of your team, push out Uncles quickly, expecting a team should be there either way in that strong position, and get your safety inside the zone. By not doing that, they don't have as many options. They get caught from 2 ends. Pincered, Team Savage also away by TSC.
Man, this is extremely tricky. To be fair, when you play Edge right now, you have a huge advantage. You can just get all the info first, hide a little bit, decide when to strike, which side to clear, and which part to crash. Like when you're in the middle, right here, maybe you can't get these kills. Maybe you just get crashed by multiple teams. Gaijin will run out of that cliffside to use, and that little bit of a lip may still be for protection. Premix is down to himself as per now, and you know what? The good news is they can still go down a little bit, and maybe nope, that is too late.
They go down. They go down for sure, Tarzan.
Yes,
that's not the right way.
Pain.
Oh man, either way though, Tarzan. I mean, look at now where that zone has gone. I mean, over that road as well. But look at where the position of these players are. They all picked the western side. And the western side is no longer safe. And now 777 should be next. I think it's going to be quite difficult for SC Legends, considering that they do have to still cross the road themselves. Kurd Victory are there. My concern is it also is Rescue, because Rescue overlooking a lot. I think that Rescue have also an option where he could have stayed on this hill. They could have actually tried to go for those kills, and they could have gone for the first. The only problem with that, again, when we look towards the counter example of Rescue taking down those lower on, is that Uncles are still alive. And Uncles now still alive means that, well, Rescue, they made the right decision because they need to move across, but they need to also move across into Uncles. And they are able to now push this in as a 4-man. This is a fight. This is a type of split that I wanted to see. They take down one, they drop shot onto another. And this is exactly how you should have played it. Spill, take notes, because Rescue did the right thing here.
Rescue was so good. They've got one to scout and prepare two to crash, and one as the backdrop to clear out the white side as well. Like, Blood is still turning back and just grab what the Silent Hyper didn't complete, and that will be 777 just losing their lives right there, right then.
12 kills, Tarzan, for Rescue already. And we might even just eliminate TSC. They might take down the team ahead of them. There goes one. The Tony blowing up. Jaja sniped away. They get them. 14 for Rescue. And Rescue, they're looking like they want that first place in the PMCO UK for the second time this year.
That is the strength of knowing the spot. That is the strength of picking the right side to slowly move in. That is the brilliance of having good PUBG IQ. Look at how crisp was that. It's just scout, two to crash, one to look behind everything, and then clear absolutely everything. 4v2, Kurd Victory, you have been lucky that you've been living for this long. But you know what? Maybe that is some more skill coming your way. But this might very likely be that 17 kill chicken dinner for the side of Rescue.
This should be no question about its 17 kills and a chicken dinner for Rescue. I mean, the fact that now phase 6 goes towards them, yes, it has been a much quicker game with one already down. In the blue, the second drops, and it only takes a phase 6 for Rescue to wipe everyone out on Miramar. A speed run here when it comes to the speed of Miramar games. Typically, the Rescue, they are easily now on top.
But you know what? Like, TSC really has to thank the side of Kurd Victory there. Like, to deny 2 kill points are essential. That was so key when it comes to that top spot. I think both teams will be entering into the high 170s and touching almost 180, but Rescue takes back that top spot for sure.
Insane game coming through from them, Tarzan, and we get to have a look at that overall standings. 30 points more for Rescue in this match. I mean, yes, of course, Kurd, they don't give those extra points away. So actually, Kurd, they are trying to play their best to cancel out Rescue from this lead. And again, I think that was the smartest thing to do. However, albeit TSC, they, with only now a 19-point deficit, are definitely not going to be in first place. We knew that gap was smaller coming into today.
Yeah, and man, we're down to that one last game, eh? Like, and you know how Rescue can choke on Erangel, like especially yesterday.
Don't jinx them again.
The whole of yesterday. Hey, but you know what? It's just facts. I can't jinx them if those were facts from yesterday, right? Like,
damn.
You know what? Like that, they didn't do well yesterday, and TSC did have some very strong like last games, and you don't know. I can't say more. Like, I just need to allow them to play it out. Like it's crazy. I don't think Cyrex and Triple could take this away without one of the biggest. No, mathematically, there's still a chance, but they require the side of TSC and Rescue to go out extremely early. It's to the point that they may need to drop on them, and I don't think they will do that. So it's going to be extremely tight.
I would, if I was one of those teams, I probably would, because I think that is your only chance that you really have. And if you can drop on them, that is going to get you that first place potential. We'll have to see if they do that and how these teams fare. One more game to go, Tarzan, the finale just a few minutes away. The finale is upon us, Tarzan, at the PMCO UK fall season. Tarzan, it all comes down to this now here. It's one game to finish them all. It's one game to decide them all between so many of these top placed squads. I am excited.
Scary. I'm nervous for them. It's like you've watched them grow, and then they're now like out to prove themselves. But I'm just going to take that. Stupid. They've been playing for so many games now. It's just that last one, it's all a mental construct. I'm just going to drop it. I'm going to bloody drop it. You know what I'm not going to drop? Stats. Let's go back to being the professor. Let's go back. And match 1 today. A bit of recap. Who won? Triple Sports Club with 32 points. Who came close? Concrete UK. Who came still somewhat close, but still got the chance to maybe win? Rescue at 3rd place. And right now they're at top.
Oh man, Tarzan, honestly, these stats Rescue all the way now in 1st place, TSC in 2nd, triple 7. There is chance, but what needs to happen right now is that Rescue and TSC need to be dropped on. And I want to almost see Triple Sports Club and 777 Esports now that, yes, they could go for that extra bit of prize money. Yes, they could risk losing to Cyrax. They're probably not going to risk losing any more from Gaijin or Conqueror because they got a little bit of a lead. But what we do need is that victory. And I think that having the bravery, honestly, having the confidence just to go for that, I mean, it's not with the reach of either triples, should I say? There's a lot of triples happening here of Rescue or TSC Legends to fall because these 2 3rd and 4th place teams are still insanely aggressive. I mean, don't forget, we saw, as you said, Triple high up on the kills. We've seen them already through PMNC as well and topping their group stage. 777 topped their group stage here in PMCO.
It's true. But you know what? Like across these teams at the top, I think the team that can somehow adjust to hunt someone and still be able to play a decent game is probably TSC Legends. Like they've been making like adaptations that is somewhat working. Like to be fair, and I think that comes back to the experience point that we'd like to make. Like they are very, very experienced players, and I think that is what may happen. Like from them, I don't think they'll really drop on someone, but when it comes to that pressure to absorb, I think they may have a rich. To be fair, Triple Sports Club are quite experienced as well, and Rescue, like with not a lot of players have experienced the PMPL. Yes, they have not been in the scene as long as some players in TSC and in Triple Sports Club, but Rescue did get baptized by how PMPL Europe West looked like. So it's really hard to guess. It's very, very hard. And I think the mentality, what they say to each other right now, if you were 777 Esports and for Cyrex as well, like those are something that I'm very, very interested in, like, because it's a little bit hard. It's not impossible, but then what are we playing for this game, right?
Already a lot of money though. That's what we're playing for, Tarzan. And look at how close those standings are. I mean, on the 2nd page, do not be fooled by the fact that there's going to be a lot of aggression coming through, particularly from those top 4 teams, Team 18 and 2 Team Savage. I mean, all of them so close when it comes to their standings and literally tied or albeit very close to the next placement up. I think that is where you start to, of course, see that rise in money. That's where you start to, of course, see teams wanting to just push that a little bit more. Because if you can make that upset, if you can have that crazy last game, what is there really to lose? $50, $100, to be honest? Like, versus having the confidence to upset, maybe take even 200 more. It almost feels like they've got to gamble with how good do they think they are.
Yep. And yeah, man, like that is a huge thing to ask. Like sometimes if you overload your circuits, it's not going to do any good. So of course, like all these are us trying to imagine being them, and there's so many versions like that can come up. After all, it will be shown by their plays, and yes, it's crazy, right? Like you work for months and months, and we're down to like one bloody game. Like for some of these players to know how it will lead them into these coming months. Mom, I've got PMPL to play. Like that's very different to, well, you probably have to go back to school now, or whatever that is, right? So let's appreciate the fact that some people will have their life changed, like arguably, like from these, and we want to celebrate, like for those possible changes and possible, celebrations or uplifts, encouragement, redemption, whatever you want to call them. So, man, back to Erangel for this last one. Just can't ask for more. It's been a great journey.
Oh man, it takes me back already to Spring Split in my mind, Tarzan, when we
Man.
saw that final four team showdown of who were able to actually take those 3 spots in Spring Split. It feels like we're getting something similar. Don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but keep in mind that it was Rescue who didn't show up in that final game, despite the fact they took that first place, but they're not in first. They've not got that comfortable lead this time, so they need to still really step up even more, because TSC can bet your backs everything that they will be going, because remember, it was also TSC Legends who got 4th place in the Spring Split, who barely didn't make it.
I think it's huge for Bujo, right? Like, he's been playing in the scene for so long. This is his 4th or 5th PMCO.
Yeah.
He started playing and qualifying before there's even PMPL. That's how long he's been in the scene for. Like, it's important for him to make it. And I think he's got a squad that can back him up for that, right? Euphoria and Jaja got qualified under a different squad before as well. So it's not impossible. I think if I need to bet, I'll put money on them. But if my wild part would want myself to put money on teams like 777 or Cyrex. But that is crazy, because that means someone at the top needs to do terrible for that to happen. But we're here for a good show as well. Every bit of support matters. I think when you ask a supporter of someone, I don't know whether people are religious, but put everything in, like flip those coins, like do a ritual, like I don't know, sing something, like anything. Who knows? Like what can help?
I mean, to be fair, I'm praying right now, because this is going to be an insane game, Tarzan, and whatever happens, I honestly just also want to see a really good PUBG. That is honestly the fundamental that I want to see from these teams. I don't want to have to pick up mistakes from teams. I don't want to be like, if only they did this, if only they did that. I want to see every single team reset and go back to saying, forget everything that we have played so far. We just need to win this one single game. We just need to win this one game, and we need to do it clean.
Yes, and let's get it, because they've done it before. That last day of group stage was very competitive, and now let's go, guys. This is the real deal right here, right now.
And our sponsor, one final time as well, Xiaomi, where you can enjoy a super fast and lag-free PUBG mobile experience on Xiaomi's powerful Redmi Note 10 5G. You saw it there, Tarzan. But also, this one final time, the playing path is there and all the way down towards Quarry. I think going to be a intriguing one, harder for teams, of course, like 777 and Cyrex, who actually do wish to drop down onto Sanhok.
Yes, that is a very, very good playing path. I think I like it because it tests the level of preparation. Like you test the type of playing path that we've got more towards the southeastern side. Now you get a more northwestern side. So it's going to be different to what we see in game one, especially when it comes to drop spots. You can see people already crowding towards Hospital and Georgia Pool side. Like that is going to be key. And we all know what Rescue would go for, right? For this one, right? They'll go for the Georgia Pool crate, South Georgia Pool, and that can be highly punishable. The escape routes from there, of course, although very versatile, you can still really hunt them down. But we can see already getting knocked is in that central position. 777 goes into Rozhok.
And they take down too a Conqueror as well, as they will be dropped. But look at the zone, it goes towards the south. Could you predict, Tarzan, a better storyline of Erangel, the South Island decision, going back to the fundamentals of how to play Erangel and rotations on it. It's 777. They do decide to only push even further in. I think Conqueror already really hurting, quite frankly. Now Danoka separated Hisoka and also one death not there to really support Danoka. They do try to find a spray. They do grab one. Up the stairs comes another. They don't have bullets in the clip to be able to take a second, and it will lose 2. This is really heartbreaking, I think, for Conqueror, honestly. But Hisoka is still alive. There can still be some form of miracle, but it's going to be a reach.
It's the last one standing. The comms need to come through, but you can see 777 are not worried. The solo guy is separated, and that means they can first reset, and there's UV coming in. That is a great swap. That is the juice that we're looking for. So confident to come through. You can see Siren as well come in to make sure he trade for his teammates, and with the shotgun delivered the vital knock, and that will be them getting the first squad wipe. 777 are not giving up yet.
They are already taking the kills. You know that they had to get those kills early on. They had to be hunting because they need a mega game if they want to catch up to TSC and also rescue. They need to already move out of Rozhok. They need to get going and find even more teams to execute. Gaijin already looking to execute inside North Georgia Ball. However, Kurd Victory on the run. Quexa with no real way out. Gaijin chasing him even further as Quexa moves even further away, trying to get into the line of sight for Tequila to support, but Quexa already being damaged, and unfortunately I feel that Quexa should fall down. Gaijin maybe striking their own one here. I think that this is also to note, Tarzan, that we see a lot of aggression, and we expected a lot of aggression in this early game to come past because of actually how these teams, they do have nothing to lose. It is one last game to end them all.
I'm glad that Gaijin Seraphim listened to us finally in the final game. Like, if there's any team that you can take down, it would be this team that's occasionally a trio and not very strong, to be fair. And that is them finally making that push. Premix trying to make that jump shot 3 on that broken wall. Quexa can still deliver. The UMP is strong after all.
But he has to reload, and in that time of vulnerability, Quexa, the wall is the only thing it protects, and the molly means he can't really go backwards. And unfortunately, takes a tick of the fire. If they try to defend, they are defending for now. They try so desperately to come around the backside. They continue to be sneaky. Quexa heals back up. There was a knock onto Gaijin, so Quexa goes round the other side, goes into the line of fire, but gets knocked, gives away the advantage of that blockade. And Gaijin, they to now take their just rewards.
That is quite funny, to be fair. Like, you can see there's like broken wall, let's jump shot. 4 of them hopping around and still can't find the angle. Quexa got too confident after being able to, maneuver around that, though. And here comes the smoke. Can still be possible. Logan is very aggressive with that, but using the smoke as the cover, and that will be Arca not able to support further for now. Gaijin all stuck around there, and that is a great crossfire. Down to 1 is Curtis Victory. Gaijin might be on the rise too.
Yeah. Tequila already on out of it. I think that's the right decision. I'm glad that Tequila didn't stop, and I'm glad that Tequila keeps Curd Victory in this game alive, albeit as a solo player. It's going to be hard, but they do have the options available to them. I mean, now they do wrap around the other side. Of course, you do want to go towards the bridge. You want to be able to drop down towards the south. It is a long way towards that south side, in particular, Tarzan, in the sense that actually... Oh, hold on here. Tequila is staying around the area. I think this is pretty dangerous. I think it's Tequila, honestly, I would like to see them go further away. Because as we said, this zone is so south that as a solo player, you probably want to establish yourself down around, I would argue, the south side or towards somewhere on the edge of that north coastal line. Because you don't want to have to be coming in late.
Yes, definitely. And we can see like how tricky it is, though. Like with Arena 51 trying to make some adjustment. Remember, we've got those decent day 2 and 3 from group stage. This is somewhat their adjustment. And very interestingly as well, Cyrex went to Arena 51's home, which is Primos, trying to hunt them down and got nothing. And right here, B4V, of course, we praise them for the aggression. It's getting a little bit old now. The last game, they better put up a good fight.
Arena 51, they are still in the bottom. They are still needing to find that good game. Of course, they do have 1 chicken dinner to their name. They have 1 kill to their name so far this game. Gaijin will confirm away a car, as we talked about. Curd Victory losing those players. Going to be another kill towards them. They do finish it up. Born for victory vote. Also, I think no one, of course, for aggression. And as you said, they have improved so much. And I think whatever happens here, I am proud of actually where B4V have come from the group stage. Because they were a shaky team, honestly. I mean, yes, they still make mistakes, but it's a lot cleaner side of PUBG Mobile than what we would have expected coming into this finals. I mean, B4V, they are one of the most aggressive. And I think that heads up towards the fact that they are aggressive as a region here, the UK teams. But also, they're trying to match, I think, the playstyle, which comes also from the argument of China, of Arabia, where they do play very aggressive instead.
Yeah, and it's important, like especially when they just need to fix some macro stuff, which is easily like discussed on stream as well. So that is going to be good for them. Not quite good would be for 1802, but great for Cyrex. So after all, this is where they should know the map. Like they play Sosnovka and they need to go past here like all the time, so this is where they can maybe match with 777 Esports. 777 with 5 kills right now, and with a Southern Circle, they will maybe go back to where they feel like home, and this could be the magical game for them.
1802, they already dropped down into the ocean. You can see they have given up slightly, and it feels, unfortunately, a little bit disappointing. 1802 already 2 dead. And again, it just has been such a difficult day for them. But credit to them, I think that they have done fairly well in those first 3 days. If you exclude today's games, it just has been, unfortunately, that ability that they can't step up.
Yep, and that's, hard. I think take their strengths and just go back and explore their strengths and just fix something. Like, feel like when teams can't perform, like in this particular way, in the way that 1802 rose and fell, is a synergy thing. I feel like they have certain good days on a particular setting, but they don't know how each other play enough, so they couldn't survive the other types of circle. But look at that kill feed there. 777 getting lit up like crazy.
777 lit up by example, no less. And I do believe that 777, yes, out of this final game means they will not represent here the PMPL for the UK. And I think heading towards example, again, the upset coming through from them. I think, again, example team rising when it counts, rising when it needed to. I mean, also look towards the sense of, well, rescue. Look at where they probably need to come in as well, around that hospital, around that side. I'm concerned for them because if they are still there, I couldn't quite see them on that map in time. They would be in a little bit of bother because there are 3 teams surrounding them.
Very, very tough. Like, to be fair, to play around here, there's always changing. Like, sometimes team would just come in, you've got another flying car going into the water. But it's lovely to see the VSS. Man, we want to see it more. I actually love this gun. And you can be a very stealthy killer right here. And the uncles finally get their full team, but won't be able to live much longer from just that landscape, really. And the Wrath of Wizard, they've been very strong today.
Uncles, they do die in this last match. 14 for them, but 5 kills from Wizard. Again, Wizard stepping up. And I think this is Wizard in this final day, Tarzan, really honestly feeling how they were in group stage, where they were that aggressive team. They were really surprising, quite frankly.
Yeah, and I can't shake it off, like, to be fair, like, where 777 died. They died to example UK, a team that just religiously drops score in apartments.
Oh yeah.
So something's wrong there. Maybe they just know that they are there, but they just want to use brute force to take those kills because they think might as well. Like, we just take every single kill. But there is probably a way to make something out of that position. Like, to be fair, based on the way that example UK plays, you can basically wide rotate around it, and they will probably run into you on rotation, to be fair. And so it's just a learning process, I'd say, but after all, 777 demonstrated what they can do as a squad. And Arena 51 definitely showed what they need to improve on, and right here, Born for Victory will try to continue with that hyper-aggressive style.
Do confirm another knockaway, and inside the blue zone does look pretty darn difficult for Arena 51. A way out is it will only be Demon knocked by Jimmy, and it's to the solo here of Arena 51, but I don't think there's anything left. No, Hilo, they do strike one away, and it could be BU back again, but no, the reload, the switch away to mean that Jimmy takes him away and Born for Victory. They confirm their 4th kill of the game.
His
but
health?
Jimmy so low, yeah. Indeed, he goes for the painkillers. I don't think that's the right decision. He's trying to search, and I think the Born for Victory also, then maybe do just fall out.
Man, just put bandages first, then one boost, then search river. I don't know, man. Like, they should know by now. What am I saying, man? Like, playing the PMCO, like, figure out for yourself. But that was a kill, and that is, once again, Arena 51 going up pretty early, and that's their run for this PMCO done. To be fair, other than it's the end of the run for absolutely everyone except one team, right? So let's see whether they can play it right. Rescue playing that edge style. This is key. Very, very key. Rescue may need to come into certain areas that they can't control or will be taken away from them first because they are so far. But then TSC is holding one of those key farm compounds that has almost 360 control, enough parts to park the cars. And with their experience, I would say this could be a game-winning position if they do it right.
This is a game-winning position, full stop, Tarzan. There is no joke about it. I mean, Cyrex as well, they have to come back from the south side once more. Rescue, they can pick up kills along the way from these teams rotating out of the south. But I think that Rescue, they have to be very aware of how long they stay in these locations. This is a team, yes, it likes to hug the edge, but in this situation, if you cannot find the kills, keep in mind that TSC, they have that position inside. If you do not get kills and you fall out early on before TSC do, man, it looks so dangerous for the rest of TSC potentially stealing this back away.
Well, they got that one kill, right? Like Rescue. They seem to be controlling areas where they can cause harm to teams who has a possibility to take the top spot away, right? Like, if you hold around this position, what teams are you actually aiming for? Cyrex would be one, and then we've got like Wizard and maybe the sides of Arena 51 if they went for a Primosk. And you know what? Like, it's time to go because it's not an easy way to enter. We know how Kaiju and Seraphim can play these typical edge position as they come in from that western side from that previous minimap. So another 500 meters to go. Rescue need to get more than this one kill.
Rescue, they have decided to move inside of the zone, Tarzan, and they have decided to move further forward. Cyrax and Triple, they'd also move further forward inside the zone. I'm inclined to believe, though, now that we are down to 12 teams, that Triple, unless they can suddenly find a miracle on this South Island up towards the farm side, they just don't make it. I think the Triple now is a case of, can they really steal this away from second place?
This is interesting, though. Like, both teams want to go for a wide rotation so they don't have to rotate through the main island. You can see Septic's trying to stop here. That is safe. Grabbing that one. Like, so if they're both teams sharing the same idea, is about who can make it work. Triple did lose Resnos a little earlier, so RB needs to make this nade work, and that may be a little bit close, but that off angle has been taken away. Is not going to be easy. Where is the support of Cyrex, though?
Support takes down Cypher with the help of that nade, and over the top, run over headshot with the vehicle onto Cy from Naz. And Triple, they do pick up one. It's a slow start for them, but as we said, they can definitely at least secure this third position. And when it comes to that prize money, that's where, of course, it starts to move up so much. But the zone goes towards the beach and down away from farm. This is where it starts to get interesting because Wizard and TSC, they clearly have the power positions in this game. But how do the rest here at Triple survive? I mean, they've got to come over from the beach. They probably die to the hands of Wizard eventually. But how do also those on the top of side of Erangel really come into these power positions? I mean, TSC, they do look to give it up. They're trying to go further forward.
I love it,
potentially
though.
Strike, yeah.
I love that position because, like, from there you can also keep eyes on the southern side. So this is where you can also protect your vehicle somewhat better. So that is not a bad shout. Like, I think it will give them the info for a later game decision should it shift to the south side, and that will actually give a compound to Rescue to take. But Rescue would do the homework anyway, like being such a good team in edging and going all the way from white rotation to that north plateau to the north of farm. Like I think they know what they're doing and still doing those textbook things very well. But TSC yet to find a kill, no problem. They are playing the safe game. After all, farm is where they call home, and that will be them holding this right now, and Rescue would take their previous spot.
But also, they do need to get kills, though, Tarzan. And the fact that they are behind currently in the standings 2 rescues. So,
that's true.
TSC, they can't be too silent. They do need to be able to pick up kills. And that's why, of course, they do pick up that position, yes. But they have 0 on that leaderboard. Team Savage taking away now Gaijin. The players are dropping. We are down to 30. Of course, there's still plenty opportunity to get points. And TSC dropping down 1 to Lakrita isn't the way you want that kill feed to switch around.
Well, they got the cover, though. Like, it would be very, very hard to push that. You need to have the, you might need to be off to push some of these positions, right? So it's about trading a little bit of health, burning your resources, chipping your helmet and all that stuff. Still very important. I think for this type of circle, which may end in the open, like this is where you can take these knocks. I think it's fair to damage the gear, although you may not get the kill, only if you know how to ration your resources.
Because, rightly so, if you destroy your own resource supply, then what is it worth? Of course, Tarzan. You have to really play this slow. You have to play it calculated. And that is what we want to see from the very top of PUBG Mobile. Cyrax as well, going to lose 1 through to curve victory. Still not quite done just yet in this game as that solo player. Tequila putting in another kill for them. Logan, they do step in with the rest of guys. Curve will drop. Finally, for now, is Gaijin only continue further forward. The Molu stops him at the edge. But Team Savage, Shadow on the backside. I'm concerned now if Gaijin do push. Can Shadow actually come in and support? Will we be fast enough to come support a rush from Gaijin?
Is going to be quite tricky, I would say. And the key thing is about how soon it is that we are looking at the new shift. Both of them are very likely to need to move, right? So it's not a time for a stalemate. Like, they need to make some moves. That is the knock coming through. Not sure whether they know the kill feed enough to know that it's 2 up, but Team Savage is time to redeem themselves.
And they take 1, they take a second, they can't take a third. The blue zone doesn't tick Logan away, but the rest of Yumi will tick him down. A blue zone effectiveness on its own. But example, they're here to upset the rest of Team Savage. He heard the shots, and now a broken TS in the final moments. Potentially here is UV only going to be needed. Shadow going to trickle down on the HP bar. UV barely escapes the nades from inside. And on the edge of the blue, it looks like, example, they're going to take their 6.
Man, example UK is like a last game spoiler team, right? Like, they spawned many teams in group stage just from that final game and got themselves in. In this game, they kicked out 777 and they came in a third party. They are just of their own kind. I don't know how to define them, but if there's anyone on that squad that I really love watching, that would be Naka. Like, he's been doing some crazy solo pace, that is great for them. And look, that is what we talked about literally 2 minutes ago. From that same position, you cannot just wait. You cannot just wait. You need to find a way to relieve your own pressure before you leave yourself with only that one remaining option.
5 kills confirmed away, for example, UK, as that final 6 did tick down. But Naka, not by Real Joker from Wizard, as they can't realistically push their way further forward into this zone because all the spaces inside the zone now are taken up. So yes, they get the kills, but the trade-off is you give up a position inside of Phase 5.
And this is a very interesting circle. I think Rescue here to be able to guard that's extremely important. Hype as well, trying to make sure that he's still delivered for his squad. And Triple, like now that with only 1 player remaining, I believe, is not going to be able to challenge further. It's going to be extremely hard. Like with no vehicles, with this type of landscape, it's practically impossible. But I'm always ready to be proved wrong with that when RB will actually challenge and he takes it.
He does take it. Cyrax out as well. It means that they will fall down in 4, surely. Triple Sports Club confirming and solidifying should be their position in third, but Triple quickly decisively dispatched by Wizard straight afterwards. Rescue still being patient, still TSC Legends being patient. These are the two teams that we are looking for now in this game. Forget the rest when it comes to the PMPL, Tarzan. It is now who survives longer out of these two squads.
We may end up watching a very good 4v4 between these two squads, but it's too soon to say that. It's still phase 5, and what Rescue have to think, though, is that it's so likely that they need to move because they're on the edge, and there we go. That will be them needing to escape from the gatekeeping of TSC, and I think TSC knows exactly what they have to do. Of course, they need to keep a 360 view. They can't be, exposed to the other side of those windows from behind the back, from the shoreline. But this is not easy for Rescue to think like. But this is where they excel at. How are they going to get this scout? Not even a scout, just an opening and then an entry point.
But the tricky part for TSC, Tarzan, is there are still 3 full squads coming in from 3 directions onto their compound. So TSC, as much as they have a beautiful position inside phase 6, it is not a safe position.
Very, very tricky. And that is the smoke coming through first. We'll take that dip. Good shot stop from that position is amazing. Very important. But the Overwatch get taken out. This is not good. Here comes the fight of the tournament.
And already take down the core player of Spring, joined by Coyote next. TSC, this is a winning fight, Tarzan, if they can only execute the final 2. TSC Legends, they know that what they have done so far is exceptional as a no, Hyper steals Euphoria away, and now is back. Is confirmed. Vitoni going outside, maybe got a little bit too hasty. They do find that third one onto Hypervo. Jaja steps up for his team, but not before he falls down. There is one more. Blood remaining is a solo player, and it is so hard indeed to go for Tick. He tries to vote for the forward in. Small smokes laid down. TSC get the revives back in, and this should be it, Tarzan, for TSC Legends to take this game away. I mean, Rescue, yes, they have all 4 players up right now, but you can see they will start to fall. But TSC, Jaja getting knocked by Spill. This opens up even more options now, potentially, for Blood. TSC, they do need to survive, because as long as I believe Blood can just stay in this game, Tarzan, he can still take a win. He can still survive, but he's getting shot from the backside. Spill, they're going to upset, and Blood goes down but to the Tony. And TSC Legends, this should be it, but they have to hold on. They cannot stop just yet.
That was so good, actually. The thought was there from Rescue. The shot stop by Blood is there, but who the hell, I hope it's not himself. Someone smoked off his angle to provide that support from the outside. Whoever threw that smoke either grieved themselves from the side of Rescue, or TSC's just break brain to choke off the support. And that was the play. That might be it, but we are not satisfied yet. If you want to represent our region, please wrap this out with the best game you can show us.
Wrap this out with a chicken dinner for TSC from 4th place. It didn't qualify. It was an upset coming from first in the group's Tarzan. But this time around, they won't be stopped. They take Dika. They burn him away. And Dragon almost surely to fall next. More nades being thrown in. And TSC up to 6. It's not a big kill game from them. But you don't need a big kill game when you take down your competitor in 4th.
Man, and this is still a volatile one. We can see TSC got a few things to think about. They've got a position to hold, but it's a little bit too predictable. We've seen what Dragon can do as a solo as well. Not even a solo. He can play these off angles and spoil so much.
Tarzan.
The Spill. Yes?
They need to still win this, though, because look at the mass. If Rescue are ahead, now if they go out in first, they get 10 points, right? Well, they get 10 points, right? 16 points is not enough by 1 point. They still need to grab one more. They still need to survive.
All right, that is exactly, that's true. I felt 5 points. You know what? I don't know it anymore, but that is Jar Jar not, and that is not good for them. They still got covers to play off, and that is important.
is the rest of TSC. They do need to, of course, secure at least one more position. One more position would do it. That is for sure. One more placement inside this game. They grab themselves that PMPL spot, but they need to take out Spill. They do so. They take away Lakrita. They burn him away. That's the extra point they might just need. Is now Spill down to 3 inside the smokes. Wizard also coming up further. It's a 3-on-3-on-3. Make it 2-3-3 is the next drops for Spill. Kelly Boy trying to be firsted down, but look who's coming as that fourth party. The blue zone is here, and it throws Bujo into the open nade of Spill. And now it's 2 for 2 remaining. Jaja getting shot up. TSC, they are still struggling, however, to continue to push in this game. Where do they go on the edge?
Wow, but Tony held down the off angle. Dragon was trying to be sneaky, but he sits back down, and here comes the reset. That is the last first aid for Jaja. Still got some bandages though, but all these teams need to move. Utilities going incredibly low, like through all these skirmishes is not going to be easy. Transitioning into that no backpack and crawling phase would be vital at the moment.
TSC Legends. One more fight, one more placement point. We said that is all they need. That is all they are required. Because keep in mind, it's 2-3 for the chicken dinners as well. Even if they tie, Rescue would still come out on top. TSC, they need to win out on these points. And that is the tricky part about it. For Tony, now down as well. TSC, Bujo, and Jaja. The remaining 2 here is Spill, also a 3-man versus 3 of Wizard, but they are also separating onto the front lines of Wizard. Is the blue zone. Now phase 8 pushes in, and I think if this nade lands, that could be it for TSC. But no, it misses, and now Bujo. Yes, the zone is coming in, but we've got some time, and they're hoping, of course, Spill and Wizard fight. Kelly Boy does step up. They take one away from Wizard. Can they take up another, though? Is it going to be Spill in the final day, taking even more? No, it will not. Royman falls down to 2 teams. TSC, they might have just done it. With Spill going down, they push their way forward. 2 versus 1 here, really. Wizard also still having that extra player, though. Joker in the back, another nade. And despite the fact that TSC, they may just qualify Wizard, they can still rise up in that leaderboard. They can still get that money on their pockets. They can still take away that big ching cash. Is now Wizard. They step further forward, but TSC with that smoke still not going further back. Still wait. Tarzan, they do not want to be pushed by this blue, but it is coming in anyways.
It's going to be so hard. I just want Wizard just to take it already. Throw that pan. Yes, maybe take it. It's a little bit hard. Smoke's still there. The rationing of the utilities has been key, and it's still anyone's game.
TSC, the smokes, full wall of them lined up, blocking everything from Wizard, forcing them to spray potentially. Yes, maybe go for the hope. They give away audio cues. It allows TSC to know a little bit better with their ears, not their eyes, where the final 3 members are. The revives came back on in, and it is a reset in the finale. It's still TSC. They continue to push even further forward. Wizard still pushed by the blue zone phase 9. The length of this game that has gone to between these 2 teams, but Jaja steps up only to be knocked down. Now Bujo tries to walk forward, but they've already lost their second player, and Wizard, they will still look for the upset as Bujo sneaks his way further inside the smoke.
Would that smoke disappear, though? We talked about this very important thing. One smoke separating all those 5 players and still got utilities. That is key in this end zone of phase 9. Bujo.
Oh, he's got it. Tarzan, he sees 2, but he doesn't fire. He waits for the Tony in that position, but now he does. He takes 2. Instant wipe, and it's going to be a win for TSC. They play it right, Tarzan, and they qualify for the PMPL.
Wow, and there's not just any way as well. It's a hard game. It's a hard mid game. It requires defending of compounds, taking out sight lines, 360 guarding of those, defensive angles, and then utilities rationing, managing backpack, and they take the win, and they don't want to just scrape by. They want to take it with the chicken dinner and will represent the region. Bujo's done it 4th PMCO, I believe, if not the 5th, and then that is a squad that I think we're very happy with.
They missed out by one single placement point here, Tarzan, inside that spring split. One placement point. But they got it. They got it this time around. As we check out the winners, of course, no less. It's going to be expected to be TSC Legends, our PMCO Fall 2021 UK champions, and our final, joined alongside Lack Nostra MVP and Eco Defense League representative for the UK region in the PMPL EU West just shortly next month.
Man, we've got some choices to make now. I know, like, some of these players, they qualify by different events as well, right? So there are some rules that we need to check, but you know what? Like, with Bujo, I do believe that we have a very solid squad, and then it's just a grind for this team, really. You see a lot of teams in this tournament, they got invited back after Spring Split, but TSC is kind of the only few who are doing decently, I would say, and still withstand the pressure of different types of games played with some versatility as well. But really great performance from 777 Esports and Cyrex as well. Like, what we really felt and witnessed was growth and a lot of heart, a lot of competitiveness, and that is, after all, something that we really, really love to see and can really still keep you in the scene for the next split.
Oh man, the storyline of TSC, how they've grown, the storyline for Bujo, it is almost fairy tale here, Tarzan, inside our final day of the UK region and competition. As we do go to the overall standings here, you can see TSC, they took it by quite a margin. Triple Sports Club, though, in that third position. So, of course, you do see, well, TSC, they take that 4,000, 2,500 for rescue. And because, of course, Triple, they take third, they take 1,700 to 777 in fourth position, $1,500 for moving down, 1,300, 1,250, 1,200, 1,550, and so on. And Tarzan, I think that honestly, when it comes to Wizard also stepping up, 7th position from 9th, and I do believe it is the first time they made it in the finals to that left side. So they were able to do it. They stepped up to date, and I think they stepped up massive.
Well, they've shown some strength, right? And we love seeing potential, and we really, really hope. I think that's my real hope, like how I wrapped up the last PMCO as well. If you can come in with that mentality to fix things and see how you can make it work is just the key. Like, a lot of these teams got that potential. Please, if you can, just believe in what you can achieve together. You've done a lot of great things. Expand that, then fix the things that you need. Like, it's not easy to find a bunch of friends who have at least made it so far. To be fair, don't drift apart because hey, it's not as good as we want. Don't be like that. Like, you can see teams that stay together this season have been very dominating, and that is a good example to what longevity means and synergy.
Yeah, as we said, no doubt about it, and don't be fooled even by Arena 51 in esports in that bottom position, that every single team who got into these finals deserved to be here because of the way that they played to get here. And even though it hasn't worked out for some, they still put up the performance of their life when it came to those one day of games that they needed to get here. And that is why I think what we have seen is, yes, have been some mistakes, haven't been the perfect PMCO UK for all our 32 teams. Keep in mind those who didn't even qualify to the finals, but we have seen a lot of improvement. I think we can be safe to say that we've seen a lot of improvement since spring, and I'm very much looking at how these region as a whole really does continue to improve.
What should we say? Like, getting emotional now. Like, this is where we've started, as a duo as well. Like, it's just, we go way back now, guys, and not just between us, it's us with you lot as well. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for playing. And I know, like, not everyone's here to stay. Sometimes it's just a phase, but hopefully, whatever happened, you can just, as always, be grateful. Be grateful, and then seek joy. And there's always a lot for you out there, and do congratulate each other. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know what? I'm just going to stay there before I cry. No, I'm joking, but I'm just a DM away if you ever need me. But I don't know. Well, thank you so much. Any last words for these players?
Oh man, everyone just honestly, the most British saying you could possibly be is probably keep calm and play PUBG Mobile, Tarzan. Thank you, everyone, for
Amazing.
staying with us for all of these 10 days PMCO UK. We're hoping, of course, see even more action in 2022. But for now, our 3 representatives wish them luck in the PMPL EU West later, and we'll see you guys next time.